Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, Ireland's only answer to Harry Kane, bringing you another The Irish Hotspur review with Jack Konecki. And again, we are joined by Danny and bobspur. Just before I ask the lads how they are, I do want to apologise. We have had a lot of technical issues on the background getting this show up and running today. I don't know why that is, but here we are now anyway. I have lost some of the chats that were there before, but you know, I do recognise some of the names that were there. But look, Jack, how are you keeping, my man?
Good. You know, it's good to be back from Kentucky, now back in Brooklyn. You know, I have lots of regrets. I gambled for the first time in my life, and I had the chance to win big, and I missed it entirely. So I completely Spursed it, and that's all I got to say. Spurs are in my blood, clearly, and I kind of never want to gamble again, and my mother's going to kill me because I could have won her $10,000.
Yeah, look, maybe drinking and gambling isn't the best thing to be doing.
No, I got too many vices as it is.
Special Mother's Day, you better find her a special Mother's Day present for your Mother's Day coming up this weekend.
I already sent it nice and early. You're right, David.
Yeah. And Danny, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, not too bad, David, man. Just same old shit, really. Work's been all right. Yeah, can't complain. No Tottenham, apart from obviously what's going on in our club. But, I mean, apart from the results, everything else was all right.
That's good. That's good. And you look, big smile on your face. You look like a relieved man with the missus being over and all that, Danny.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's nice to have her over, man. It's been a hectic, let's say 4 or 5 days or so. It's been good, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Good, it's been very busy. That's why I've been a bit like I haven't really been a slut on the streams lately. So yeah, it's but it's nice to go on, man. I couldn't miss an Irish Hotspur stream. No chance. No,
you can't, lad. It's one of the most entertaining in the business. But Bob, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, all good. The bun literally looks relieved. I don't want to go into it. And Jack, welcome to the man's world, mate. Welcome to the man's world. Gambling, losing money, drinking. Next, you'll be doing hookers and drinking off boobies.
One step at a time, Bob.
Mate,
I'd say when he came back, he was lying shaking in the bed, thinking, "What am I after doing?"
Really was. I was totally rattled. But Dave, I got to show you. I got this on the way while I was there because you had to wear a hat.
Yeah,
so I have my very own.
Oh yes.
Oh, look at him. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, Jack.
For the derby,
that's what we're talking about.
Lovely.
Absolutely love it.
Yes,
look, everyone, let us know who you think wears it better. Why not?
You wear it much better, I know.
Better. But look, before we do pass it over to Jack and let him take control, we are going to welcome a few people to the building. Bob looks like he needs to cool down there. We have Prayash Rao. He says, when will the stream start? It's already started now, my man. Sorry, like I did say, we did have some technical issues. You kid, big yourself up. The guy that made me a song, big up, you kid. Absolutely love it, my man.
Brilliant.
We have Anthony Berryman. He says, Levy spending does equate to anything, full stop. The only thing that matters is that him and Lewis get richer using Tottenham. Yeah, I'd go along the lines of that. Where are we? We have Shelfside Spurs, big yourself up. They're in the building. We also have Sunday Young, big yourself up. We have Clegg UK, big up Clegg. We have Shane O'Neill, he says City and Chelsea in the Champions League final, United and potentially the coming Europa League final. While we sit at home into a sock and try to digest the fact that Ryan Mason may be a permanent manager. And I agree with that, Shane. Hassan, no way. Josh Wigan, big yourself up. Josh Wigan's in there. Inot Nurse, big yourself up. We also have Mr. Daigle, big up Mr. Daigle. How are you keeping, my man?
Ryan,
Mr. Daigle's in the building. Kieran Spiteri, he says Mason is too young and Spurs are going for Conte now. Adam Eggers, big yourself up, my man. He's in the building. Badass Extras in the building. We have we ain't having it. Conte thoughts. Look, we will get on to a lot. Touching into the stream. Big up Wesley says sick hats. Like watching Peaky Blinders. Yeah, not a bad reference, my man. I like that. I'll take that. I like Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders and two immigrants.
We got blades underneath. We got blades underneath these.
Turkish liver boner.
We have Ronnie
and Bobadom.
we have Ronnie D. Jack, you want to know, do you support Brooklyn Nets?
Sort of do, but I'm originally from Seattle, but I definitely support Steve Nash. Steve Nash was my idol as a point guard growing up. And he's their coach.
There's your answer. Big up Terry Wright in the building as well. Big up Mikey Cronley Gray, absolute legend. And Connor Cusack, let's go, David. Big yourself up. The only Mason worth talking about is Mount. Big up Connor Cusack. But look, for a few formalities, make sure you do smash a like on the stream and subscribe on the channel. Don't be afraid to get those super chats in with your opinions, with your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. And why not? It's a good way to support the channel. Don't worry if you can't. I'm not stupid. I know people's circumstances all across the world. You know, we all live week to week. So I will just I will get everybody's comments up anyway. So don't worry about that. And then big up Brian C. Brian C's in the building. He says big up David and the panel. Come on, you Spurs. Big yourself up, Brian C. A legend. And Brian Daigle says Steve Nash is part of Toronto Spurs and will hopefully be joining us for a game next season at the Scotland Yard.
Wow.
I'm sure that'll be an absolute
he's good at football. He's very good at football.
And Dean Webb as well in the building. Big yourself up, Dean Webb. But look, Jack, we're going to hand it over to you now, my man. Sure.
All right, boys, we're going to go deep and heavy here. It's going to be starting with the conventional wisdom that seems to be that if the board and the chairman and nothing at the club changes, then what's the point of signing a new manager? We're going to get your take on that. So we're going to start with the question right here. Lots of Spurs fans agree that if the toxic/parasitic chairman and board remain, then no manager should come to our club. If the board stays in this power this summer and aren't honest to the fans regarding their intentions, would you sign a new manager or continue to just give time to Ryan Mason? There will be a little caveat question later, but what's your thought? We'll start with you, David.
No, we'll start with Bob or Danny on this one.
All right, lovely.
This one first.
Go on, Bob.
You know my thoughts, Dan. You know my
I do know
thoughts.
your thoughts.
You know I'm going to go with this. The board haven't got the right managerial choice for the last. Well, they got Poch right, but he overachieved and he worked wonders. They didn't get it right with Jose because, and I've always said this, Jose was never the right fit for Tottenham, purely because the way Jose works, he's going to work at Roma. We know that already because Roma got money and they're going to spend it. So he's going to work there. He never worked at Tottenham because it was never the ideal fit. Hence the reason why I wanted him out, because he was never going to fit in with the board. There was no point of keeping him. Mason's come in. This is the board's decision. They've brought Mason in. Now, in an ideal world, he'll get us top 4, and he'll go on next season and win us the league and challenge. But the board's still going to be there. How do I say this? Let's see how the board get this. For me, Mason in. I've said this for a while. Mason in, and keep him there till the board sort the fucking act out. They've had the last 2 managers. They fucked up. Certainly Jose. They didn't work to his tune. They didn't work to his strong points. They've got Mason in. Let's see what they do with Mason. Now, so far, he's coming across as a bit of a puppet, a bit of a muppet, if I'm honest with you. You know, to not back up. I mean, he's a manager of my football club. To come out and not condemn the ESL when he had the chance. Oh, sorry, I've not seen it. Oh, he doesn't speak like that. I can't do a Mason impression. But you know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the ESL. I don't know what question. That's very unfair of me. No. Your owners, your bosses are trying to take football away from the fans. Have you got an opinion on it? I don't know. I've not even. No, bullshit, mate. You had the chance. You're one of our own. To not go in there and back your own supporters didn't sit right with me, but understood. We were only there for a day or so, but ever since then it's just looked a bit puppeteering. Yeah, great result against Sheffield United, a team already relegated. Mason in till we get the board's vision in place, till we know what the boards are going to, if the board are going to stay. Very likely the board is still going to stay there. But for me, mate, it's no use changing managers right now, purely and simply. If they're going to fuck about the way they fucked about Jose, and potentially they're going to fuck about Mason, no point getting one in. So right now, Mason in because the board is still there. If the board changes, 100% Conte in. 100%.
Thorough, Bob. Thorough, Bob. Should we go to you, Danny, or David? Do you want to take it over from here?
No, let Danny take it from there.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I mean, from your question, right? The first bit of your question about the board staying this summer, if they're going to go, obviously they're going to be here for the next 20 years. They're not going to change anytime soon. Right? That's the first part of it. Then you've got the aspect of if we do ever sell, which not going to be anytime soon anyway.
Right.
Levy is going to stay on in some capacity because there's no way that the club are going to sell unless Levy is in some capacity part of this club, because no matter what, he wants some kind of control within this club, and that's the sad thing. So for me, I'm kind of on, and I'm kind of on the Bob fence a little bit with this now, because I know everyone, we've got our own opinions, right? But from what I see, right, I honestly, my opinion is I couldn't give a fuck who our manager is right now, because I've seen this story, right? I've seen this story. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Yeah, I've seen this story for the last 20 years, the same story of Tottenham. And like Bob said, right, Poch, he overachieved to the players. What he did was he coached these players, right? He squeezed every last inch and breath out of these players. He made them believe that they were better than they were. And he made them perform. And also what he did was he made them play like a team, right? There was a unity there and a belief between the fans, the team. And that's why we overachieved in that way. Because if there was a couple of them in the squad who didn't agree with what was happening with how Poch wanted to sort of build this club, then it would have been like kind of how you are now. We've got like half a dressing room who doesn't want to play for the manager, and with Mourinho, for example, and half a dressing room who does want to play for him. So for me, I'm kind of on that fence where, look, let's get it straight, right? Daniel Levy, no matter what, is not going to give the fans what they want to know in terms of like giving us a clue of the vision. He's not going to tell us or give us an incline of what we sort of want to do going forward or what signings we want. He's just going to do what he wants to do. He always has, always will, right? So for me, in that respect, I couldn't care less who the manager is. I really couldn't care less, because I know this is my club, right? And this is like it's like you want to see your club do so well, but nothing's going to change. I'm telling you, what's going to happen is we're going to keep being in the same cycle over and over again, like we have been, and we're gonna build our hopes up. We're gonna go through a year where we might look a bit better. Then we maybe change a couple more players in next summer, and then we'd fail again to get in the top 4. And then they sack the manager again, and it's going to be the same and same and same again, because nothing's going to change unless the only way it's going to change is if you invest in the team, right? And they invest in the manager's visions. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it with Poch. So why are they going to do it with Gasperini? I listened to Ali Gold today, right? His video that came out, I think it was today, and he was saying all these rumors about these Italian managers. It's all rubbish. And he was saying like, there's no way Conte's. It's all rumors. Conte joining and stuff like that. Conte is one of the highest paid managers, and he was saying that Daniel Levy's nowhere near going to go for another highest paid manager. And why would Conte want to come to Spurs anyway? It's a load of rubbish. It's a load of shit. For me, if I'm going to pick anyone right now, I would like Gasperini, just because of how the style of football, because apparently we're looking at someone who wants to play free-flowing attacking football. Well, he's your man. He's the best person who's going to play free-flowing attacking football, who works within a budget, right? So for me, that's who you're going to employ. I don't care if it's anyone else, because if the board are going to do what they want to do, you might as well have Mason. I don't want Mason. Let's get it right here. I don't want him, right? Because he's not going to do what we need to do. He's not going to rebuild this team. And I don't think even Gasperini would, if you ask me. You think Gasperini is a rebuild manager? It's not a vision manager. He's like an interim kind of guy. Let's see how he does. And if he doesn't do well, we'll just sack him anyway. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it, to be honest.
It was really well said about Poch, by the way. I think he really well said about how he really just squeezed every ounce of them. And they really, and a lot of the players are still feeling that after effect, like you said, they really were made to feel that they were much better than what they really were. And I think that was really well said. David, I'll go to you now.
Yeah, do you want to just read out the question again? Because there's a load of new people in, so just so they know what the question is.
Absolutely. I'll read it out. So it's kind of in regard to that, that conventional wisdom that we have this toxic and parasitic board and chairman, and if they don't leave and if they don't change or nothing happens in the summer that seems to change their intentions about rebuilding, and so if that board stays, if these chairmen stay and stay in power this summer, would you sign a new manager, or would you just continue to give time to Ryan Mason?
Look, my opinions on this is that no matter what the board situation is and everything, us fans, we still need to care about the manager situation. We still need to care who's coming in and taking over and trying to get the best out of these players. For me, the answer is not Mason. He's not ready for the job. Look, it's all well and good coming in, taking over the job when there's no pressure on the games. In a sense, he's already made a lot of mistakes in a couple of, especially against City, picking Harry Winks. Look, anyone watching football from a mile away should know he should never be near that team. The game was screaming out for Ndombele to come on and beat a player or two, beat the City press. He didn't do it. He brought on Musa Sissoko. So, for me, I definitely don't think we should go with Mason. I don't think he'll have the nous in the big games to get us over the line. I do think we'll be going backwards. And
hey,
if we're
already going backwards, man.
But even further, and I just think if we do keep Mason, I can't see Kane and Son staying.
Yeah, I agree.
To be honest with you.
Agree, and
so
that's two big assets gone, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's. Look, if we lose Kane and Son, regardless of the manager, it's we're going back 10, 15 years, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
100%. 100%.
And for me, we do have to care about who the manager is, and we do, even though the situation is what it is, we have to try and still get in the best manager that we can possibly attract, because even if we do go to sell the club, then it's not going to be a quick process. It's not going to be a quick process to sell the club. So for me, I do think, look, even if we can get them to change their ways, even if we can get them to come out and change their ways, like the supporters trust is looking for resignations now, which is fair play to them. Actually, I do want to big them up. They're not accepting any of this meeting or anything like that. They just fully want resignation. So I want to big them up. But for me, no, Mason's not the answer. Look, he's only a puppet for Daniel Levy. He clearly played Harry Winks against City for me, because City were the only team interested in him last summer. They didn't pull the trigger, and it was all put him in the shop window for City again in front of Pep to see if Pep can use him next season. It might trigger him to make a bid. Sissoko comes on instead of Ndombele. Dele Alli all of a sudden is back in the squad out of nowhere, even though we know he hasn't, he's not interested right now. And for me, Levy's the one making the decisions right now, and sort of in a way having a hand picking the team. Just judging by some of the players that all of a sudden have been thrusted back into the limelight, even though they haven't deserved to. And their form was poor before Jose even came in. It's been poor for a long time. So for me, we definitely do have to bring in a manager, and just hopefully that manager can find some sort of relationship with Levy in that where he can get something. As in, what I mean is where, for me, I think the next manager has to come in and be able to identify a philosophy on this team, but be given the chance to ship out players like Pochettino and bring in players that he wants and he can work with. And after that, then you can build a solid foundation to work with.
So do you know what, David?
I think we all want the same thing, don't we? That's the thing. We all want the same thing. We all want a great manager in to come in and work his magic and build a philosophy. I think what all I'm asking for is that reassurance, because we've seen it so many times, Dave. With Pochettino, he worked wonders, but he wasn't backed. Under Jose, my biggest qualm about Jose, and I've said this numerous times, was the fact that him and the board never worked together. That's why I wanted Jose out, because there was no way he was going to work. Yeah. He was going to work out under Levy, regardless of his abilities or his flaws put one side. Now all I'm asking for is, as a fan, I want authorities from that board that when this next great manager comes in, and mate, we're fucking one of the biggest clubs in the world. We deserve a big manager. All I'm asking for is, rather than bring in a really good manager, great manager, and fuck him up the way we fucked up Jose, and to an extent we fucked up Pochettino, and we're messing around, or Poch as well. What I want is the reassurance that we're not going to do that. Because if we get a chance of getting a really good manager, we need to keep him. We need to keep him. We need to back him. And the board need to turn around and say, we're going to play the Tottenham way. Move, pass, attack, attack, attack. To dare is to do. To do is to dare.
Just,
you know, we'll deal with this. But it's hard. And I know what you're saying because we do.
Right, I fully understand what you're saying, right? Even if the board doesn't change, like, would you still not want the best manager possible to come in regardless whether the board changes or not?
Of course, mate.
I'm going to twist that, right? I'm going to twist that, right?
I just think it's a bit of sorry, no, go on.
Basically, I was just going to say, right, who is the best manager available right now who fits this Tottenham style, right? Who is out there right now who Tottenham realistically will go for? Because if I look at this right now, if what Alistair Gold's saying today that we're not going to get the Gasperinis, the Contes, and the Ten Hags and all these kind of managers, right? Who is really there? Who is actually there? Scott Parker, right? Graham Potter, which even Alistair Gold said today, Graham Potter, they're not sure about because they don't think he's going to be able to do it at a level like Tottenham. I don't want any of these managers.
The guy only came from Sweden a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or Ryan Mason. Just the only three I can think of, honestly.
Yeah.
And for me, I actually think it's going to be Cody's choice, which is what they said, because what he was saying today at Ali Gold, right? He was saying that a lot of people really impressed with Mason, what he's done in training. Mate, the guy has been there 2 weeks and they're like, oh, he's impressed, they're impressive. This is what fucks me off about Tottenham, right? And this is what fucks me off about Daniel Levy and his retarded mindset, right? Because honestly, how can you think this guy, I love Ryan Mason for who he was, etc., right? But who do they think he is in 2 weeks? Oh my God, he's done amazing in training. Are you serious? Like, are you actually serious? Are you deluded?
Just quickly, Danny, we do have a couple of super chats in there. I'll just get to them.
Yeah. Here we got a super chat here from Carlos Blanco. Big yourself up, Carlos Blanco. Thank you for the super chat. Would you take Poch back now, regardless of Enoch? For me, Carlos, definitely take Poch back now. 100%. As Danny said earlier, he absolutely squeezed every inch and ounce out of those players and made them think that they were much better than they were. And you can't ask more than a manager to overachieve like that. Regardless of Enoch too, I would definitely take him back. Let's go quickly, maybe around the panel, which maybe shorter answers. Bob?
I'd love him back. I don't know if I could do that because I love him so much. I don't know if I can put him through it. But of course, I'd love Poch back.
Yeah,
I think we all would. He deserves more than what our board. Yeah, of course. But I think he deserves more than Enoch at the moment. Certainly what they're like at the moment. But yeah, hands down, mate. Fucking Poch, too right.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd take Pochettino back as well, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got another super chat here from Wayne Winter. Big yourself up, Wayne Winter. Thank you for the super chat once again. Sorry to change the subject, lads. Can I ask, it me? Can I ask, is it me or has the media and TalkSport and Sky have an agenda for Kane to go to Man United?
Oh yeah, of course they have a raging marathon for it.
I think they have an agenda against Kane just because he doesn't play for Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. Just the fact that he doesn't play for one of their teams that they've played for in the past. That's why everybody seems to hate him. If he played for one of those teams, they would love him. But he just happens to play for the team that everybody loves to hate.
But do you know what?
They've had. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say they've had an agenda against Kane going to Man United for fucking all season, haven't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's been for longer than one season, though, lads. It's been longer than one season. They've had a raging hard on it for the last 2 seasons right now. You know, because for them, imagine how much they'd be able to do with Kane around United, with Kane at United. You know, imagine how many programs they'd be able to put out for everybody to pay for.
Dave, the worst thing about that is if it was to ever happen, right? I know I've heard this talk in the papers about 90 million, and it's delusional that people think that he would go for. It's just to sell papers, right? There's no way. Yeah, there's no way Levy will let him go for less than 150. That's obvious. But what will hurt me the most is if he ever ended up at Man United, right? It's the fact that they're going to be with Bruno Fernandes and Harry Kane in the same team, which is who we would have had in the same team, or who we should have had in the same team. That's what will hurt the most. Not even the fact that Kane's gone there. It's the fact that they're both there.
Yeah.
Dang. 100%.
They'll go and buy Grealish as well.
Yeah, probably.
Got another super chat here from Wayne Winter. Thank you so much, Wayne Winter, for another super chat yet again. Big yourself up, Wayne. No, lads, you're thinking wrong. Think cheap or free. Absolutely. I mean, we were looking at the flea market today for the players. I saw a couple of Montenegrins and a couple Croatians. So we definitely always think cheap.
Just with Wayne, lads. You know, the guy was in hospital there for a while. It's good to see him back fighting fit.
Oh, well done, Wayne.
And,
thank you,
back
Wayne.
in the chats and everything else. So big up, Wayne Winter. You're a superhero, lad. And everyone else, don't be afraid to get your super chats in. It really does help support the channel. And, you know, get them in with your views and your points. And I am going to get everybody's chats up regardless. But sorry, back to you, Jack.
All right. Yeah, guys, please send in your super chats. Please help Wayne out. Big yourself up, Wayne, for helping the Irish Hotspur. And please, thank you for watching and supporting us here today. We're going to use a little caveat question here, and it's still in regards to Mason. So it's still the same question before about whether the toxic board were still in charge. If they were still in charge, if they were still in power. If Mason got top 4, or if he qualified for Europa League, would you keep him in charge? We can go around the panel quickly.
Yeah, look, quick,
because it changes things, I think, a little bit, because you would have a bit more confidence in him, because he definitely would pull off, in a sense, somewhat of a miracle.
I don't know about that, you know, because I look at the teams we're playing. So Sheffield United, right? They're only promoted, and they're getting relegated again this season. Should be beating them regardless. Leeds, not too long promoted. Don't care what anyone says. You can play through Leeds if you're good on the ball. Should be beating them. Only newly promoted. Aston Villa had a very good campaign this season. Barely escaped relegation last season. And again, newly promoted. Should be beating them. Wolves, not too long, newly promoted. These are all teams we should be wiping the floor with and beating regardless.
Good point.
So for me, I don't think it would actually be too much of a miracle. Look, even if he pulls it out the bag, I thank him. Good job, well done. Yeah. Either go back down to under 18s, or if you want to pursue a manager career, you know, we'll give you a good reference and off you go. But he's not the man to be taking us into next season when you're talking about Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, and hopefully Europe, whether it's top 4 or Europa League. You know, so you're going to need a manager with experience to be able to handle the squad and be able to know when to rotate and not rotate. So for me, I don't think he is the guy. But if he can pull off top 4, thank you so much, Mason. I appreciate it.
100% agree with that. That was really well said, David. Yeah. Bob, what's your thoughts on it if Mason were to qualify top 4?
Yeah, exactly what Dave says. We've got to look at the opposition. You know, we've had the 2 good sides we've really played so far. Southampton are, in my eyes, an okay side, and we struggled against them. 45 minutes. Man City, let's not say anything. You know, Sheffield United, relegated side, we were 1-0 up at half time, but we weren't that great. It was a Jose Mourinho-esque. Before I carry on, do you want to do your bit, mate, and read out this super chat? I can carry on after you've done that.
No. Thank you so much, Wayne, for continuing to support, and I completely agree with you. You know, you're no Mason the whole way. No more Mason. The only Mason we should be talking about is Mount, as someone said before. So completely agree with you. Thank you so much, Wayne, for all the super chats. Please, someone else help out Wayne. He's carrying the load right now on the super chats. Big yourself up, Wayne. Go back to you, Bob.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like Dave says, you know, I've got to look at the opposition. If he gets top 4, it'll be something to do with him, obviously. But we've got to remember what an inconsistent season it's been. So many of the teams have been so inconsistent, and the only reason we're there is because of the other teams messing up over and over again. So if he does get top 4, it will be by default us doing what we need to do and other teams not doing, because it's not in our hands right now. Hopefully in the summer the board will change them. We'll get a direction and get a vision, and if they do, then like Dave says, the better manager, the better. If they don't, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Right now, I'm gonna see that season. But for me, it's all about the board. For me, it feels a bit half-hearted right now. Not any of us here, but it does feel a bit half-hearted out there. You know, not protesting against when we played against Sheffield United because it wasn't convenient, and not doing it on. We're doing it on the 15th. I'm doing it on the 16th. Oh, I'm not sure. You know, there's ums and ers and all that. No, fucking protest. If you have to protest every day, you protest every day. I'm coming up on the 15th. If the protest on the 15th, I'll do it on the 15th. If it's on the 16th, I'll do it on the 16th. If both days, I'll do it both days. And that's where you can't do too many protests. I just think, nothing against us lot here, but there are people out there who are just taking the eye off the ball. Our main concern, unfortunately, isn't Mason. Like Danny says, I couldn't give a shit who manages us. Obviously, I want Spurs to do well, but our number one priority is not letting that stranglehold off the board's neck. We've got you fuckers. We've seen your true colours. We want you the fuck out of it or sort yourself out. And I think it's just gone a bit half-heartedly, and people are just umming and ahhing, which doesn't sit right with me. But of course, like Dave says, best manager possible, but we need him under the right board, please.
I completely agree, Bob, and very passionately said as well. And thank you for showing up whatever date it is that the protests are going to happen. Thank you for that, Bob.
15th, lad, the 15th. Get the message out there. The 15th, there's 135 people watching. Any of you that are in and around the vicinity, get down, make your voices heard. Please, I beg you, do it for the likes of me and Jack, who geographically can't be there.
Yes.
Do it for the likes of us. But sorry, go on.
Got a super chat here from Tin Man 007. Big yourself up, Tin Man 007. We love your super chats, and I always love seeing your comments below. Imagine on the 15th of May, Spurs fans did a United and broke into the stadium. Knowing Levy, he would open the food and drink outlets. I mean, I got to say, it'd be an excellent opportunity just to keep them going. They need extra drinks. It's exactly what they need. It's a brilliant idea, Levy.
Mate, if you
give it to him.
Levy that
well
idea,
said, Tin Man.
He'd do it.
10% off. 10% off. 10% off.
Oh, he's tickled me. Big up, Tin Man. I absolutely love that. I would not put it past him. That's the funny thing, lads. I really wouldn't put it past him.
Tin Man, spoken like a true ledge.
All right, so I think I'm going to move on here unless someone has anything passionate else to say about Ryan Mason in terms of whether anything changes for you if he qualifies for Champions League.
I don't think so. I think for me, right, I'll tell you why, because he's not had experience. Yeah, he's just not had the experience to even manage in a. Like for example, right, he's 29 years old and he has never managed a top team before. I mean, let alone a team in like League One or something like that. And you just feel, for me, I just got that feeling that if he gets into a rough patch where he's losing and things are not going right and the media's all on his back, I just think he's going to crumble, man. You saw what it was like in the final. Like he looked like a man just did not deserve, or he just felt like he was not in the right place. And I'll tell you one thing, that pressure,
sorry for him.
You felt sorry for him. That pressure will hit him so hard that he'll be sacked within like halfway through the season. I'm telling you. And I don't want that to happen to him, man, because he doesn't deserve that shit, because he has been put in a position where, he said yes to the job, but any Spurs fan, any player who's come, especially someone who's come through the academy and the ranks at Tottenham, who's been there since he was a kid, like he gets offered the chance to manage Tottenham like as an interim manager, he's not going to say no, is he? I mean, come on, it's like, do you know what I mean? No one's going to say no. And and anyone who tells
of course,
me,
you want to take the job.
Yeah, anyone who says
team, isn't it?
Of course it is. Even if I was fucking dog shit, I'd still take the job.
You've got to look at salary as well, Dan. He's going to be offered more money as well, mate. You've got to look at that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look, I'm with you and David. I'm like, look, if he gets top four, I'm going to clap his hand and say, well done, mate. You've done well. Like, you come back to the academy or under 18 coach or assistant coach or whatever on the coaching team, and let him be a part of it, because he will have a bright future. But he needs a bit of experience. And for me, I think he needs to go to like another club, manage a club if he wants to get into management, if that's what he wants, and do it like that. Because look, Arteta's proven it, even though he's won trophy like the FA Cup, etc. I mean, look at them in the league at the moment. I mean, that they're doing bad, and majority of Arsenal fans don't want him there. And like, it's great for us, of course it is. But I mean, like, and look at Frank Lampard. I mean, Lampard couldn't even get a tone out of his players, and they brought in Tuchel, and now they're in Champions League final. So it's just like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't work out always how you think it's going to work out. So,
but you know what? Everything was in place for Tuchel, though.
Look at the summer
they had with some of the players they assigned. Everything was in place for him to walk in.
But what I'm saying, it was in place for him. But what I'm saying is, Lampard was the one who built that team, and he didn't get a chance to actually put his. He started to like implement what he wanted, but they didn't give him the chance. And because it is Frank Lampard, and he wasn't getting the results that he should have been getting as a Chelsea manager, that's why Abramovich is cutthroat, man. He just gets rid of them. That's why they've been so successful over the last 15, 20 years, because because he every time he doesn't like what he sees, he just gets another top manager in. He goes and wins something. They do shit, and they get another manager in. But the top problem
But they're
is
always back though. They're always back though, aren't they?
they're always back. They're always back. The problem with
back.
Levy is Levy thinks he's like a big club, so he pretends to act like a big. He's a pretender. He's an illusionist.
Yeah.
He just pretends to. He likes to pretend he's going to go and get these best managers, this and that, and then it just always fails because he never backs them, and it's just going to be the same. So yeah, for me, I think Ryan needs to definitely step away from it and let someone else get their career ruined by Levy. To be honest, because I'd rather someone else than him, and I do feel sorry for whoever comes in. Of course, you're gonna back him, like you're gonna back him, of course. But yeah, man, just I feel sorry for whoever's coming in, because we know they're not gonna get backed. They're gonna. I mean, if you look at what's happening in the news and stuff like that, they're already saying that Tottenham already have got their transfer, like they already kind of know what they want to do in the market already. How can you know what you want to do if you don't even have a manager? It just goes to show that it's the owners and the recruitment in Tottenham right now who are running and making the decisions on players. Why are you doing that? Like, let the fucking manager choose. Why? That's why Poch had enough, because you could see that he was at the end of the end of the line, and he's like, they weren't backing what he wanted to do, and you could just see they took it out of him, and that's why it's never going to change. It's never going to change.
All right, guys, let's get over
the profile. Sorry, mate. I just want to lead on Danny's, and you've got to look at the profile of a player as well. You're going to bring in. Now, it's very unlikely we're going to get a Conte, but say, for example, the profile of a player that Conte is going to want to bring in compared to a profile of a player that, say, a Parker will want to bring are two totally different profiles of players. So how the board, this is what pisses me off, how the board can sit there and said, we've made plans about the transfer, like Danny says, we've done this about the transfer, when you ain't got a fucking identity.
Yeah.
You won't get an identity, you won't get a profile of player till you sort yourself out. And
I just wished instead of Mourinho, they just gave Mason the job then, and then got Nagelsmann last summer. Because that's what they should have done.
100%,
because they changed their direction when they brought in Mourinho, and now they've gone rather than going 2 years back, 18 months back, which is how long he's been at the club. They've gone probably 3 years back now. They've taken like 3 years out of work.
Mason himself said we're 5 years behind Man City.
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah,
5 years. I think that's being generous.
Yeah.
So 100%, exactly what you said, mate. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Will Stewart here at THFC Rants. Please go check out his channel. Thank you, Will, for sending in your super chat. Please check out his rants for the late night rants and the late night stuff. Look out, David. Jack is trying to snag your look. I mean, I can't agree more. I'm not sure if I'm pulling it off as well. It's not as much in my blood or in my bloodline.
Will,
but I bought it right before the Derby, so I'm trying to steal it.
Who wears it better, Will? Let us know who wears it better, my man. And I agree with Jack. It's a great channel, everybody. It's late at night, so if you're lying in bed and you just can't sleep, why not go on and rant? But big up, Will. Absolutely love it. Sorry, Jack. Go on.
No, let's move on to the next question. I think we got to keep it moving. Thank you so much for being so passionate about that question. I know it was going to be hot and heavy, so I know we were going to stick a while on it. So this is also going to be a little hot, but this is in reference to what can be done both, nationally and in terms of our club, about how we can change what has happened in regard to the Super League, how we can change the power of ownership. So here's how it should go, I think. Protests are a powerful demonstration of the people's will for change. Should fans write to their representatives? Should the UK's parliamentary representatives or ministers take a stance against the owners? Does the UK government and its representatives have a responsibility to you, the fans of football in the UK?
We'll let the two educated lads take that first, and then pass on.
He's thinking, "Fuck me, how am I going to answer this?"
No, I just wouldn't be able to
I can explain it simply. I can explain it simply.
With a whopper answer.
I can explain it simply.
I'm a firm believer politics and football shouldn't mix. They should never mix. But it does come to a point. But with what happened recently, Danny, what happened if there was a government legislation in place to, because at the end of the day, let's economically, these Premier League clubs are bringing a lot into our country. They're bringing a lot of wealth into our country. So for
Yeah.
them to actually think about leaving the country and taking the money elsewhere, it's not good for the country. If we're going to stand back, have a look at the bigger picture. So every right, the government should be involved in that aspect. But no, not to the daily. I mean, we've got the obviously the suitable chairman test that everyone has to go through and everything else, and now they've put something else in place to prevent what happened a couple of weeks ago. With regards to the protests, yes, I believe the more you protest, the louder you protest, they have to hear you. There's only so many times they can turn a deaf ear to protests. That's why I'm so disappointed, and maybe it's just me, but our protests are just coming across as half-heartedly. They're not coming across as fully, roaring and loud. Because I'll tell you what, I'd be down for all of them. I was ready to come down against Sheffield United, but I was told not to bother. I mean, what the fuck? I think people are forgetting, not us lot, but people are forgetting. These cretins, these motherfuckers were taking our club from us. They were destroying our club. They were going to end. They were going to stop us from feeling disappointed, angry, sad, happy, joyous. They were going to take all that away from us. Something that I've had for 30 odd years. You've had for a number of years. And they were going to stop all that. And now it's all right because we need a new manager. Let's not think about it anymore. Or, oh no, we're going to bring a new manager. No. If we need to do more, we're not doing enough, and I really believe that. And I'm sorry for the people who are doing it, because I know the likes of Nabil out there and Yid Kid out in the US, they're doing a protest out there as well. There are guys out there, and all of us. And if you guys, all of us could go, we would all go. I know you two would fucking jump. You would walk it down if you had the chance to. But there's people out there who aren't doing enough, and I'm going to call them out. Do more, because you're not doing enough. You are not doing enough. Because when there's talks of protests, there's talks about protests at Chelsea, talks of protests against at Man United, Liverpool. We're not even mentioned. We're never mentioned when there's talks of supporters protesting in a conversation, and that's damning on us. We should be embarrassed by that. We're not doing enough. We're not doing enough.
It is embarrassing. Danny, I'll come to you. I mean, are protests powerful? And do you think that, some of your representatives, like some of the people in the parliament, do they have somewhat of a responsibility for keeping the ownership in check and not taking football, in a sense, away from the UK?
Look, I don't know how politics works when it comes to football, right? And what laws, how laws
vague.
are.
It's very,
right? It's very vague, but I do know one thing, right? And this probably relates to everything in life. Everything is all down to money, right? Simple as that. So I do a lot of listening to like kind of financial stuff and kind of a bit like I love listening to Simon Jordan, right? Simon Jordan is absolutely, he's like the GOAT, man. He's brilliant. And he was looking at it and saying like how, like, so basically there's a debate going on at the moment where the Premier League are looking to privatize their, they want to privatize their auctions for the rights for the Premier League, right? So they want to have it as privatized, like for within this country. But the problem is the Premier League, I don't think can do it because of how it affects, like how it is in the world and how it is with the financial side of things, right? So they want the government to step in to do this, but they can't do it because of how much money that can be generated from. There's other reasons as well, but from what he was saying as well, like there's places around the world that can obviously outbid what, like to auction it, right? Because like it always goes to
it's a monopoly,
right,
isn't it?
It's basically like that. I can't. It's hard to explain it, right? Because like I said, I'm not a financial specialist or anything like that. Just from what I've listened to from other people, and the problem is, right, no matter what happens, right, the government they will not step in because they don't have the financial backing to say, they can't step in, right? They won't. And it's because there's too much money involved in how much and how big the Premier League is globally on a global scale now. When the Premier League was first formed, football was completely different. It wasn't the same. Football, it kind of like, when the Premier League first came about, right, in 91, 92? When was
92, 92, yeah.
92, yeah, 92, yeah.
Yep.
It kind of like revitalized football, re-energized it, and ever since then, the brand of the Premier League has been growing and growing and growing and growing so exponentially that it's now at a point where the whole world knows the Premier League and everyone wants to invest in it. And when you've got that much money involved, the government can do fuck all, right? I'm telling you this now. They are not going to do fuck all. What the government will do is they can say, look, we'll allow you to, like, this is also comes to do with the Super League and selling their rights to like Middle East and Australia and wherever, Canada, etc. Right?
US,
US is China. All of it is all down to if they get certain deals, the Premier League will probably be able to say, look, we'll allow you to do this, so you can make more money yourself, as long as there's a certain amount that gets filtered down through the pyramid, through the pyramid, right? For the pyramid.
Yeah.
If the clubs like the Super League thing, right? I reckon the government would never be able to stop it, because what they would do is, if something was to happen with the Super League shit or something different, basically, the government would say, look, you can do this, and the Premier League will agree to it as well, as long as there's an agreement with money and how much money these clubs will all gain, like how much money will be filtered down the football pyramid, and if there's an actual value. If there's a value of how much, and it's gonna be double what it is now, do you think anyone in the football pyramid, anyone in League 2 is gonna say no if they're getting more money than they were getting before? They're no way in hell. And the government will not stop that, because they want that to happen. If anything, they want the big clubs to be able to provide more money, but they're not going to do it on their own back. They're going to do it if they get more TV rights and more sponsorships and more this around the world. And this is why I say the government will not step in, because I just don't think they've got people think they got the power to do it, right? Like, can you see the government forcing owners of a business to sell their shares, right? Can you think the UK government can say, okay, Daniel Levy or Enoch or Glazers, you have to now sell your shares of your business? They're going to say, fuck you, because they can't.
They got the bollocks. They got the bollocks to do it.
You can't. You have to share your shares and have 50. The new rule is now 51 to 49%. It doesn't happen. They might be able to enforce it for future purchases and say, look, like from 2026, if an owner wants to buy a club, they now can only buy a small percentage of it. But I don't know how that would work. But I'm just saying they can't do anything about it how it is now. It's just they can't. They can't.
We can't walk into Tesco's and say, right, I bought a bag of crisps. Can I have 50% of the shares of the supermarket as well? It just doesn't work like that. No one will agree to that. It's too late. It's too late now. It's too late.
Can't be done.
I agree with you. I mean, I wish I worked that way with the supermarket. Super chat here from Sean Mitchell. Small donation here for another great show, lads. Keep up the good work. Come on, you Spurs. Pick up yourself, Sean. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words. Sean. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. Another super chat here from Will Stewart, THFC rants. David pulls off the look much better, and the quality of the hat is much better. Originals always duplicated, never replicated. Can't agree more with that, Will Stewart. I tried to pull it off. I tried to sneak by with maybe a cheapy copy look, but like anything, it's just a copy of the original. So it's never going to be as good. I agree with you.
To be honest with you, David's hats. I do want the hat to stay, and I'd love if Bobby and Danny, the rest of the panel, could get one as well.
I've got one. I'll see if I can do one. I'll get a grey one as well. We will have to go for grey.
I bet your hat's got a bit more man smell on it though, Dave.
Oh, 100%, man. This hat goes everywhere with me, man. This hat goes everywhere, man. It's my signature hat now. But I want to big up Sean Mitchell,
up a little bit.
Absolute legend. Big up Will Stewart, absolute legend. Big up Wayne Weaver as well. Big up Tim Man 007. Yous are all legends, and Carlos Blanco. Yes. Everyone else, feel free to get your super chats in, help support the channel. And it's a great way to donate to keep me going at this full time. Big all yourselves up, and I will get back to the comments. Just in terms of what Danny was saying about the government, I can see what he's saying, right? But at the same time, the amount of revenue that football brings to the economy, I don't think they're going to let it go so lightly. They're not just going to let this revenue just disappear like that. I do think if they're offered a slice of the pie, like anything, they'd probably take it. They're just as greedy.
Same as the Premier
they're
League.
just as greedy, if not greedier, than
Yep.
these owners. You know what I mean? If anything, they show these owners the way to make money in this world. So the government will only get involved if they're not given a slice of the pie. That's my belief. If they really do care about the people, they should introduce the 50+ one.
They don't give a fuck about people, right? Because right now they're extorting people about this COVID stuff, and I'm one of these people who they're trying to extort about this COVID.
Yeah, so
stuff.
I might have to pay for €140 test to wankers.
Yeah, exactly. But not just that, they're doing the 2 and 8 day tests, yeah. And mate, it's just a joke. What they're doing and the rules they've got right now, it makes no sense from what you actually the mandatory stuff you have to do if you're coming back into this country. All it is they're literally trying to extort as much money as you can out of you just because they want to, because they can. That's literally it. And this is why I don't give a shit about what people say. The government can control this. They don't give a fuck about people. All they care about is their money. Yeah. Why do you think they're going to start raising taxes in the UK? They're going to raise taxes even more. And taxes already are one of the highest taxed countries on the planet. And they're going to raise it even more. I mean, they don't care about us, man. They don't care about fans. They don't care about money. They care about money. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
Just quickly, we'll take this super chat, and I want to welcome a few more people to the stream.
Absolutely, yeah. Tim Man 007 with yet again another super chat. Big yourself up, Tim Man 007. Thank you for supporting the Irish Hotspur. Thank you for always being here for the live streams. For me, Allegri or Conte, if we can't get Rodgers. I don't know if I agree with that exact order, but I do think that Rodgers is probably my preferred option. But those are still solid options. But like we went over earlier, it's really difficult to tell, how well they'll do if the board remains the same and continues to stay as parasitic and greedy as they usually are.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to welcome Jordan Stevens to the stream. Big up, Jordan. Hope you're keeping well, my man, and hope to see you on the fan show this week. By the way, guys, fan show is coming Friday. Frenemies is tomorrow with Marcelo, so make sure you tune in for them shows as well. And everyone else, make sure you have smashed a like on the stream and a subscribe on the channel. There's 140 people watching. No doubt there's a few first-time viewers. It's a great channel, great show. Make sure you smash that subscribe. And also make sure you smash a like on the stream. And like Tim Man and that, do not be afraid to get in your super chats. And welcome Rob Davies as well. Coys, and who else have we got here? Shepherd, big up Shepherd. Daniela Stewart, big yourself up. Bradley Coombs, big yourself up. Steve Broom Hamilton, big yourself up. And fine. Conte ain't coming, mate. We will. Why will Serie A champion join our shit squad? Yeah, that's a fair point. Look, I think a lot of us are in dreamland at the minute, but we're allowed to have these fantasies until Eddie Howe come in, or you know what I mean. If it's anything that makes me sleep at night, if I can go to sleep at night dreaming of Conte and Allegri hanging Harry Winks up, you know what I mean, telling him how bad he is, and slapping Eric Moonboots across the back of the head to wake him up. Mate. That's what makes me sleep at night. Allow me to do it until we get our new appointment.
Absolutely.
But back to what we were saying about the government. It's a hard one. I do think they couldn't put in rules in place that would make it a lot harder for these owners to not acquiesce to a 50+1 rule. Like there are stuff they can do and legislations they can put in place, and a lot of, like, red tape essentially. A lot of that red tape that goes on behind the scenes, like especially when you want to build a house and all that sort of shit. There are ways the government can do it, but look, it's up to the fans. Honestly, it's the fans that have to stop this. It's us fans. Because it's like the government. The only time they listen is when the people rise up in numbers and together and united. And that's the only time that the government or anyone like that starts listening to a protest. So we have to get out there, make as much noise as possible. I would like to see, when fans are back in the ground next season, everyone come together. Home and away fans come together with banners, chants, everything else. Even get down to the grounds early and get protests done before the games. And eventually, if fans just start occupying the stadiums with no violence, just occupy the stadiums, don't cause violence, and start getting games called off, you're affecting their money that way. Eventually, they're going to have to cave. They're going to have to cave, because although I don't agree with the violence of the protests that United fans done, at the end of the day, it's still the owners that are at fault for all of this, because they could have spoke to the fans beforehand. They didn't. They could have organised to speak to fans after. They didn't. They hid in their homes, sending out a little video. And when the protests were happening, they could have pulled it. They could have went. An owner could have came out and spoke to them. They didn't. You know, and unfortunately, when you don't try to pour water on a fire, what happens? It just gets worse and worse and worse, and that's what happened. So, although the violence happened, that is still on the owners, and we can never get away from that fact, the reason why it happened. Never lose sight of that fact, because I see lately the media trying to twist it a little, concentrate on the violence, and stop speaking about the owners and the power grab that tried to happen in football. So we always need to remember that this only happened because the owners didn't try to come to the fans and speak to them at any point. And the reason why they have to understand why these fans are so angry, because these fans are the ones that built this club. Without the fans, you don't get revenue. You don't get the revenue to be able to buy your players, pay your players' wages, this, that, and the other.
100%.
So these fans are the ones that have built these clubs over generations, and they need to remember that. And with how much revenue it brings, I do think there's a lot more the government could do.
I completely agree with you, David. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, the media, I did notice, we're trying to switch the narrative and weren't taking our side anymore. And so that's a really brilliant point. I'm glad that you noticed that as well. Another super chat from Matthew Morgan here. Big yourself up, Matthew. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Too many fans are scared to show up. This is all or nothing. We must now show the owners we
100%.
Mean business. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you.
And
I
one
agree
thing,
with you,
Jack,
1,000%.
Just one thing, Jack, about this protest and everything. You know, the reason why Man United's protest would have got to the Glazers more than any other protest that they've done so far. The reason, because they would have lost money. By that match not being on TV, that would have hit their wallets. And trust me, they fucking took note of that. They took note of that. And with regards to the media agenda, don't know if you guys got that tweet that I sent out on Talk Sport. I'll call you out, Jim White. Jim White, this is to you. You called the protest attacks, and you went on to ask, I wonder what Man United's next target is. Attacks and target. These words are normally associated with terrorists who take innocent lives. You called the protest attacks, and you talked about their next target. And your first question wasn't, had Man United's voices been heard? You reckon the Glazers have no. Your question was, how do we punish Manchester United? Mate, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. I love your show. And Simon Jordan pulled you up. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You got no clue. In that moment, you showed what an individual you are. You've got no sense of what the real world is, what the real.
He's taking the pay packet, isn't he, Bob? He's taking the pay packet.
That's it, mate.
That's what he cares about.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Thank you for saying that, Bob.
Just quickly, we do have one more super chat in there. I just want to get to that, but I just want to touch on something Bob actually said earlier, and it's just that registering there with me again, that about our protests. Us as fans, right? We've seen what's gone on the pitch this season, and we've been aware of what's gone on off the pitch for years. And what's gone on the pitch is a result of what's happened off the pitch for years. Now, you see the likes of, and this kills me because I despise them, but Arsenal, Chelsea, United fans done. You've seen what they've done, right?
Yeah.
Now, our only bit of pride we can salvage is actually this protest by turning out in numbers, turning
100%.
Out in massive numbers. And in fact, I want people down there again the 16th. I want people bringing tents and camping chairs and staying there overnight. I want them there again the 16th. And I want them to stand there at the gates. Don't allow the team bus in. You know what I mean? This is up to us to make a massive, massive statement. And it's the only bit of pride we can put back into that badge that we all wear with pride is turning out in numbers and together at this protest on the 15th. That's what we can do for our club.
Wow.
You know,
100%.
Yeah.
People are taking the piss out of us with our protests. You see a lad sitting there eating lunch, you know what I mean, at the protest. You've seen another lad beside Ben from We Are Talking TV, one of the most passionate men you can get, right? And you see some lad standing there with the club shop with the bag from the club shop. Like, look, I do get it. But look, if you are going to buy stuff from the club shop, at least hide it. At least just hide it, please. Just hide it. You know, don't, like if you want to buy stuff from the club shop, look, that one person, he's not gonna make a difference in hindsight, right? But just hide it from the cameras, please. I beg you, because it's just killing us. It's killing us. We are a laughing stock. No matter what we do right now, we're a laughing stock. So please turn out in numbers. I beg you. And then before we let the lads in on this, we'll just take Wayne into super chat, and then we'll let Bob and Danny come in on it, and then we'll move on with Jack's questions.
Very powerfully said, David. I mean, please, guys, if you can, if you're geographically close, please show up early. As David said, please show up early. Please show up in numbers. This is our last chance to have some real pride.
No matter where you are, Jack. I'm sorry, mate. No matter where you are in the country. If Tottenham's your team, I'm driving 3 hours or so to go down for the 15th and the 16th. I'll fucking do it. So I'll do a 6-hour journey there and back. So no matter where you are in the country, there's something about you. If you really do support Tottenham, get down to that fucking protest. And if you can't, I question your support. Thank you, Bob.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. But thank you for putting that in much more powerful words. I appreciate that. Wayne Winter, yet again, another super chat. Wayne Winter, thank you so much for these super chats. You're really helping out Irish Hotspur. You're really helping out David Grow. Really appreciate you. Thank you for showing up today with the super chats. Big yourselves up, lads. Without you, you were all just fans watching a screen. With you, we're a family, a community, and a community that fights for what's right. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, Wayne, but really big yourself up for really showing the support here and keeping this community going, keeping David going, keeping this channel going. It's really people like you with these super chats. And so thank you for supporting us. I really appreciate it, Wayne. Really big support. Wayne, from Brian C. Brian C, big super chat here from Brian C. Thank you so much, Brian. Reformed board with fan representatives to get Poch back with a proper transfer fund and full say over transfers should be the minimum apology to the fans for last 2 years in the Europa Super League debacle. 15th is key. I mean, Brian C just covered it all right there. Absolutely covered it all. That's everything we want. I mean, thank you, Brian C, for the big super chat, really helping us out.
And you want to say something on Brian C super chat there? It's a big super chat, so if anyone wants to have a say, we'll
the only thing I'd say, Brian, for that one, mate, you're spot on, 100%. But I think their apology should be for the last 20 years. Never mind the last 2 years. That's the only thing I'd say. There's 20 years. We've been playing the guessing game for the last 20 years. I wonder what the board are going to do this. I wonder what the board are going to do. I wonder where they're going to bring in.
I think they should just say sorry for buying the club. Sorry for buying the club.
That's it. Spot on, Brian. Spot on, Brian. So you're spot on with everything. Yeah.
Big up, Brian C. Absolute legend, man. You're an absolute hero. You know how I feel about you. We do talk on Twitter quite a bit. This guy is actually a very intelligent guy and sends me a lot. It gives me a lot of insight into things. So big yourself up, Brian C. I couldn't agree more.
Big up.
Brian C been on the fan show yet?
Brian, let me know if you came on once. I think I might. I think he might have came on once.
I
think he might have came on once. If not, I'm thinking of Rob C. But let me know anyway.
Rob C has. I know Rob C definitely has.
Rob C,
Well, big up, lads. We've 2 more super chats to get to there, so we'll get to them and then we'll take another question off Jacko.
Absolutely. Tinman007 with another super chat. Big yourself up, Tinman007. Keep throwing in the super chats. Please help out everybody. Please help out Wayne Winter. Please help out Brian. Please help out Tinman007. Let's get some other people with the super chats. Really thank you guys for supporting it. We have one of the most passionate fans in the league, but we have the most undemanding fans too. Wake up, Spurs fans. 15th of May, let's do this. I completely agree, Tan Man. This is our chance. Like Bob had said, like David had said, like Danny had said, this is our chance to show some real pride, to show some real courage, to really show that we are actual Spurs fans. If you, like Bob, is driving 3.5 hours to show that he really means it. And so please, if you can, and you really will, please show that you really are true Spurs fans on the 15th. All right, another super chat from James Watson. Great show, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you, James, for the super chat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, James. Really appreciate it.
And Brian just got back to us quickly as well. He said only messages. Well, Brian, I would love if you could actually, if you ever get the time to come on, and join us on the fan show. We've already revealed Simon Cohen and Wayne Bonner. Brian C, you're the next one. I want to see the face behind the name. Big up James Watson and big up Tin Man. And Brian all for the super chats there, lads. Really do appreciate it. They're all legends.
Alrighty, I think we should move on to the next.
Sorry.
No. We got another one. William McKenzie
there
with
you
a big super chat.
Yes,
Big
Will.
yourself up, William. We love it. We absolutely love it.
Another
Big up
one.
the channel, guys. Thank you so much for the positive comments. I couldn't thank you
Yeah.
enough. Really, David, I know can't thank you enough. It's really helping him grow.
Yeah.
It's really helping him move on with this channel. We really love growing as a community here. So really, these super
He
chats
needs
are
to
going
go.
so far. So really, really, thank you for the super chats, lads.
Big up, Will. Big up, Will.
No, I was in contact with Will Stewart, and he was sending me on a list of all the equipment I need. So that's what this is all going to go for, so I can bring better shows, so I can bring the Tottenham breakfast the way I want to bring it next season and stuff like that. So big up everybody. I really do appreciate it. You're all legends. So thank you so much. But yeah, big yourselves up. Sorry. We'll keep moving. And William McKenzie, actually, sorry, another one. I want to get the face behind the name, man.
That's it.
Make sure you come to me on Friday from 9:30 onwards. Might be 10 o'clock. I'm not sure because I have Astro beforehand. I do have an hour and a half of Astro beforehand, so it would be 9:30 or 10 o'clock, but it will definitely be Friday. But sorry, go on, Jacko.
No, I mean, it's a good problem to have to be interrupted by these super chats. It's a good problem to have, so we love it. All right. Hopefully, we can really end this on a positive note. In what circumstances could you realistically envision Levy selling the club? I did not mean, ending the questions just in terms of this Levy debacle, the board debacle. This is the last one in regards to that. In what circumstances could you realistically envision Levy selling the club?
That's a cool message.
Do you know what? I'll take this one first. For me, with Levy selling the club, honestly, I think we have the toughest ask out of any of the top six to get our owners out because of how much Levy does love this club and how much he's going to do these deals in. How much, Enoch have grown this club. So it's probably been their little baby for 20 years. Although they fucked it up, they're still going to have a lot of attachments. And I do think, and let me know if people agree or not, I genuinely do think we're going to have the hardest job of getting our owners out. Because the ones, the Liverpool owners, the American or the Man United owners, they wouldn't be as emotionally attached to the club, I don't think, as our owners. I do think the likes of Liverpool owners, United owners, I do think they have the ability to be more cutthroat. It is more of a business for them. You know what I mean? They have the ability to be able to cut ties. I think with Levy and Enoch, I think it's going to be very, very hard. In order for us to get them out, honestly, it's just not filling out that brand new stadium. It's as hard as it is not buying merchandise. It's taking over the stadium while we have the chance with the protests. Don't destroy it because it's a beautiful brand new Coliseum. And I want to get there. So please don't do that to me. Don't do it. Do not do anything stupid because if we don't have the money for players, they're not going to have money to fix stuff inside the stadium. Trust me. You know what I mean? Trust me. So don't do anything. But if you could maybe just not allow a game or two to go ahead and stuff like that and let them know how serious you are. We turn out in massive numbers, but not only this week, every week, even next season, every week. Eventually, the pressure is going to come and they're going to have to sell it. I think that's genuinely our only hope, but I do think we have the hardest job out of most. It'd be interesting to see what the other two lads think on that as well.
100%.
For me, I've said it for a long time now. The only way, like you said, Dave, is the fans have to boycott the games, right? They have to boycott. They've got to stop buying the merchandising, and every single home game they have to protest. Every single home game, every season, they just got to keep protesting and not go to the games themselves. Just protest outside. Let fucking 30,000 fans stand outside and just go crazy. Not damaging the stadium or harming other people because we don't condone that. But what I'm saying is they just need to protest every single week and they stop going to those games because they do that. That's going to hurt them a lot. That revenue they make from ticket prices and stuff like that. But the thing is, the problem is if you buy a season ticket, right? You're still giving them the money. So they don't give a shit whether you turn up or not because they've got your money in the end. So the idea really is you've got to stop buying the season tickets. But the problem is, are we going to have enough fans who are going to do that? It's a minority that are going to be the ones like us who will try and do everything we can to help. Like as much as we will push it, I just my heart is saying that there's not enough Spurs fans that are like us who who actually try and go above and beyond to try and stop, to get this board out. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think there's enough. And the worst thing is, there's so many fans globally that don't go to the games, for example. Like, for example, yourself, Jack. But I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying other people will probably buy merchandise, and they buy the shirts, and they buy this and that, and they pay for their TV streams and stuff like that. So, I mean, all of this stuff is all going towards the club.
It's all fuel.
So, exactly. So, unless that fuel is cut off, then it's so hard to believe that things are going to change. And I do agree with David. Like, as much as we can sit here and say, like, my head is saying, like, look, I really want this to happen. I would love for this to happen. But my heart is saying, I can't believe that it will happen, because I just feel that there's not enough people that will do this. I really do. And it's sad to think like that. As much as I want it to happen, it just won't. It just won't. Like I'll tell you one thing, right? Let's see how this 15th of May protest goes. Let's see how that goes, and then we can judge a bit more after that. But the problem is, if they do it just once, you think that's going to do absolutely anything? Like, sit here, right, and think with a realistic and logical head, and actually analyze. Do you think that one protest will make any difference to them? Please sit here and tell me that.
Depends on the sheer scale of the protest.
Yeah, but but Dave, that has to be the start. It can't be the finish.
Oh yeah, the start. The
start. Like, that has to
Danny,
be.
Quick question to you. Quickly.
Yeah.
If we don't, let's look at this in a different way. If we don't turn out in numbers this protest, even the most passionate people that do want to protest, do you think maybe they might even just give up and say, "Fuck that"? What's the point?
I genuinely think they will, because do you know what? I think they'll do it on a different way. In a different way, they won't go to the stadium every week. For example, yourself, Dave, you're not going to be able to get down to the stadium every week from Ireland, right? Traveling to North London every week, because number one, it's not viable. It's too expensive, and again, you're fueling other companies.
If you stop these stupid COVID tests, man, and it was just the cheap 20 quid flights with Ryanair, man, I'd have a chance of getting there every week.
That's what we need back, man. But, like, honestly, like, it has to be with the majority, not the minority.
Yeah.
It has to be the fans in unison of doing everything together. Otherwise, it's never going to work. And that's why it hurts me more, because I got that feeling that that's not going to happen. Like, as much as me, you, Jack, Bobby, Will, Cody, and everyone else, Brian, Tottenham away lads, everyone, like Matt Hayes, just all of us, we are Tottenham boys. It's like, we will have our say, but it has to be like the whole population of Spurs fans, to be honest, to really, really make a difference. Yeah. And I think for me, right?
Go on, mate. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, right. So I've always had this image, right? And for when I first saw Daniel Levy taking over, there's always these paper reports of what they wanted to do with the club and this and that, and it kind of ties into what they have done, right? Is make a global marketing brand across the world. So it's not just a football team; it's everything. They've got NFL. They do NFL games. They do music concerts. They're going to do everything, and the stadium's the catalyst for this, right? It was all building up for this stadium thing, and what they've done is they've bought, like Will said, right? They've spent 60 million, right, to basically buy the club. 22 million when they first bought it, and then in 2007 or 8 they paid the rest of it out to take the majority sharehold in the business in Tottenham. And they've spent 60 million, and they could potentially be earning 300 to 400 million per year once this COVID stuff is done. And that's just from if, for example, Tottenham in the top 4, right? They could be getting 300 to 400 million a year just on that. That's without your concerts, your NFL games, your stadium naming rights deal, and everything. And
it's easy to stop the concerts from happening, though. You just bring about a mob of 100 people and just stand there and don't let them in. It's easy to stop the concert.
Of course, no, I agree. But I'm saying, like, for me, right, I've always had this belief that Levy will one day sell Enick will sell the club. But how I envision it, right? How I envision it, right, is that he's built his baby up, right, for 20 years to get to this point. Once I think he starts seeing, like, say, like 5 to 10 years worth of profit of like 300 to 400 million or more per year, then he's got like an actual, and everything's done. The stadium rights, naming rights are done. Everything's in place. I think then that's when he'll be like, right, now we've got a business we can actually sell to a big investor for like a lot more than what it was worth. They'll make a few billion on it, and then they'll go. And maybe Daniel Levy even then will stay on in some capacity. But Yeah, that's what I think will happen. But I don't think it will happen for any time soon. I think you're looking at 10 years at least, 5 to 10 years at least.
Bob, I don't think I've gone to you yet. In what circumstances do you see Levy selling the club?
The only way it's going to make them notice, and that's in the pockets. Barricade. Barricade the games. Do not let anyone into that stadium while the boards are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as it's non-violent and you're doing it peacefully, barricade. And I mean, not just this season. I mean, till next fucking season. And if it means all home games next season, we do that all the games next season. We do not let one single game go ahead at our stadium while those fuckers are there and they're in the same. They still might be there. They might have a change of heart, and they might relate to us. They might communicate to us. Then we'll stand back and listen. But until then, barricade that fucking stadium. Do not let a game go ahead. Do it peacefully. Do it rightfully. But you do whatever you can by stop it. And I'll tell you what: the first game doesn't go ahead, they'll feel a pinch. Second game doesn't go ahead, they'll feel even more. By the time the fifth or sixth game's not gone ahead, there's going to be some serious shit happening up at Enoch and Lewis and Levy will have to take notice. Barricade it. Yep. Barricade. Do not let a single game go ahead. You don't have to go in like the Man United sports. You don't have to jump in and go in and break it. No, you don't have to do any of that. If there's going to be 60,000 or 40,000 fans turn up, every single one of you turn up. Well, I understand there's some Enoch inners as well, but all the Enoch outers, all of you turn up, but do not step one foot in that stadium. Stand outside. Watch the stadium from outside, and do not let that coach pass. Do not let a single fucking football game go ahead in that stadium while those cretins are there, in my opinion.
Got a very generous super chat here from Will Stewart. Got a very generous super chat here from Will Stewart, THFC Rants. Please go check out his channel. He's been very generous to us tonight. He's going to be on plenty of nights. He's doing the late night show. He does the hard work for us. He does the graveyard. Yeah, he's going to be on tonight. He does the graveyard. If you're an American, if you're in Asia, if you're in a part of the country that's not UK time, you'll love his channel because he'll be right in your window for you to get your opinions into him. And he's a wonderful receiving guy.
Just quickly before you read out the super chat, do you know the way we say Will does the graveyard shit? I'd love him to enter the stream with the Undertaker music. I'd absolutely love that.
He could actually pull off the look as well, you know.
Yeah, he's very technically gifted too. He needs to pull it off.
He's entering the stream with the Undertaker music on the graveyard shit. I love it.
Will,
sorry, go on. Will has an important message here.
All right, thank you again, Will, for the super chat. Will Stewart says, "Stop spending money at the club shop. Use that cash to join David's membership. Super chats on all channels. Support those protesting instead of those being protested. Help our community
100%.
grow." I mean, Will, you couldn't have said that better. You really could not have said that better.
To be honest with you, I didn't even read the full chat. I thought it was going to, Will was instructing people what to do, but that's an even better message.
No.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Read that out again one more time. That's
Stop the games.
Big up, Will.
Yeah.
Stop the games.
I have to read it out one more time because thank you again, Will, for the very generous chat. Really, really thank you. He's exactly right. Stop spending money at the club shop, everyone. Please just use that cash, use that money to join David's membership, join other memberships, join other channels, support us all, support the Tottenham family. Get in your super chats with that money that you would spend at the club shop. Support those protesting instead of those being protested, just like he said. Help our community grow and help Will Stewart grow, help everyone grow, help the Irish Hotspur grow. Please, please, please use the money in the right place. Use the ones, talk to the real fans, and help us grow together in this protest, please.
100%. Big up. Big up. What's the next question there, Jacko?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or has everyone had their say? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. All I'm going to say, mate, is I know I'm saying all this and stuff, but protest because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. Protest because it's in your heart. Protest because it's in your heart and you know it's going to affect you. Protest because you want to. Don't protest if you feel like you have to. If you feel like you have to come down and you have to protest, then don't fucking bother. Come down with a proper heart.
Wow, exactly right.
Just quickly, Daniela Stewart says, if you stop the games and go on ahead, the Premier League will come down on you like shit falling from the sky. That's the case. But then, again, it puts Levy in a more strenuous position because he's getting it from all angles. So probably would be a good thing, Daniela. But I'm sorry, go on.
I mean, yeah, we're now going to be moving on to the real players, the real football, the real tactics. We're not going to be talking about the politics anymore. We're not talking about the board. Will to hit Lamella with the tombstone.
Sorry, this is just good banter.
Sorry, I was
We'll read
read
this out.
that late.
Will, Joe Grimes says, Will to hit Lamella with a tombstone pile driver. Absolutely love it, Joe.
I can just imagine him doing that as well, because Will's a tall lad as well.
No, he's got the strength in him. He's got the strength in him, you know.
Yeah.
He easily could. We're going to move on to real football. I think we're going to move on. We're going to move away from the politics of the board. We're trying to move on maybe to brighter pastures, talk about the future, talk about what's really going on in the tactics of the club. So please, if you really want to stop us at any point regarding your opinions on some of these questions coming up, please send in your super chats. We'll stop right away and we'll try to answer your question or your thoughts or your opinions. Would you take Dele? So here's the question here. Would you take Dele Alli back into your heart if his form or consistency improves and if he demonstrates true change and maturity? Would you take Dele back into your heart if his form consistently improves and if he really showed that maturity that he's been lacking?
Oh, look, I love Dele. Sorry, not Ellie. Dele. I've been a big fan. I've been a big fan of Dele Alli. I love watching him grow, but unfortunately, like, there comes a time with players at clubs where things have just faded out, and you're never really going to recapture your best form at that club. And I do think that's the case with Dele. I said coming into the start of this season, if Dele doesn't have another good campaign, he has to go. That's 2.5 years now. We haven't really seen the best Dele Alli. So for me, I just think his time at Tottenham has come to an end. I think he needs something fresh. I think he needs a new motivation in life personally for himself, something that's going to get him going again. And for me, look, if he came out and apologised, no, I wouldn't. I was going to say I probably would give him another year, but I wouldn't. No, I'm sorry. I can't, because once I start being sentimental to him, I'm going to be sentimental to Winks and Davies and Sanchez and Dyer, and I'm not falling into that trap. No, for me, it's been too long. We can't allow these players to keep collecting their wages here and not wanting to improve things on the pitch. And for me, it's unforgivable. People can sit here and say it's Jose done this too. He didn't. Dele Alli was poor under Pochettino under the Pochettino's reign from the end of that as well. So for me, it's been far too long. And for the guy himself, I think he needs a new challenge in life, something that's going to give him re-energize and re-motivate him. So for me, no, I wouldn't. I think he has to be sold.
Danny, if Dele's form returns, would you take him back into your heart?
I'm with David. I've been saying this for months and months and months about Dele Alli. For me, I agree with him. Everything David said was literally just spot on the money. And the only thing I can add to that is, literally, if I saw Dele Alli come back into the squad and start performing, it will frustrate me and anger me so much more. The fact that he's basically fucked off, he's downed his tools because he couldn't be fucked anymore. He just got lazy. He's happy to take his money in. Got Poch. He was one of the guys who helped got Poch sacked because he just downed his tools, right? Then he started performing a little bit when Mourinho came in, and then he was like, "Oh, fuck this! I can't be bothered now," right? Oh god, that's brilliant. I'm
having a Vindaloo the day before.
Yeah, Vindaloo the day before. Big Vindaloo, really big Vindaloo. Operation Vindaloo is at it, mate. And again, I just feel like if he comes in and the next manager and starts playing well again, it just shows what his mentality and attitude is really like. It will literally just show it to you. And if people start falling for this Dele Alli trap, where he's good again, it's all fucking show. It's all bullshit, because he would have done it this will be the third time he would have done it now. And like Dave said, 2.5, 3 years, he needs to go. And like I said, all he cares about is his image. I mean, look at that stupid mop haircut he's got on his head. I mean, I might as well turn him round. He doesn't be in the dustbin. He might as well turn him round upside down and scrape the last bits of the dustbin around the training ground and put him in the dustbin afterwards. Honestly,
Josh, if you think that he's not had a fair crack of the whip, mate, I don't know.
No way.
You know, he was brought in. He was given a chance at a young age where not many other Premier League teams would have giving him that chance. He was given that chance. He excelled. We'll wake it up from the coffee with Alex. Yeah.
Oh God, this is two
Exactly.
jokes. This is jokes.
But
Straight on
Ali's
screen,
been,
that would be brilliant.
Ali's been given loads of chances, but I think you got to remember as well. We're all if a Tottenham player wearing that badge gives his 100%, we'll be behind him. Of course we will. Dali's had chances. He's had so many chances and he's let us down. He is, for me, the first one out the door because we'll probably get the most money for him. And for me, the most expensive player should always go out so we can start building up our budget. So for me, Dali's the first one out the door. Never mind taking us back in our hearts. First one out the door. And it's such a shame we should have sold him in the summer.
Can I ask the panel a question? Just a quick answer off everybody, including you, Jack. So what I hear with the likes of Winks and Dele Alli, but we'll have to go somewhere else and perform. Do you think that's a big thing why we make excuses for them? Because, like, big clubs, they don't give a shit. You don't perform here, you've gone out the door, you can go to someone else. With Tottenham, it's always, what if we sell them and they perform somewhere else? Do you think that's why a lot of us fans kind of give these players grace all the time rather than just being cutthroat, start acting like fans of a big club and just say, look, no, he's had long enough, he has to go? Do you think it's the fear of what they might go on and do at another club is the reason why we always make excuses for these players?
100%. 100%. But I'll tell you one thing, though. If they're not performing right now in their careers at Spurs, they need to go. No matter, I don't care if they go and perform anywhere else, right? Because they're not doing it now and they're never going to change while they're at this club. So for me, it's those players that need to get out because they're the ones who are creating this toxicity within the squad and within the club's values and within everything within Tottenham, right? They're aiding towards this toxic mentality that we have at the moment, right? Because they're just not bothered. They're not bothered to play for the badge. So I don't care. Get them out of the club. They let them go and get paid somewhere else and then try perform somewhere else. And then if they do the same what they're going to do somewhere else, they're going to be on the bench again and then they're going to ruin their careers. So fuck them. I want them out. I want them all out.
But let them do well. You know what? The likes of De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Mo Salah have got in common. They're all rejects. They're all rejects from the previous clubs. Yeah, they've gone on to do great and wonderful things. That's fine. They were rejects because they didn't work out. They weren't performing at the clubs that they were at the time. Ali is not performing at the club, and if he goes on to become a world-class midfielder somewhere else, good for him. Good for him and good for them.
It made me more pissed off even more.
Good enough for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. It made me more pissed off because it just goes to show that he's got a mentality where he's just within the club. He's like, oh, I'm a Tottenham Hotspur player. I'm getting paid 150 grand a week. I don't need to give my all for the badge because he doesn't care. Why do you want someone who does not care? Why? Get rid of this sentimentality about these players. But like, no one wants anyone who doesn't care because this is the situation we're in right now.
Yeah. I do want to let Jack in and let him give his answer as well. But just quickly, Will Stewart, THFC Rant says, you all need to buy a bunch of shirts. He has Enoch out shirts, everything there. A lot of merch. He has the bun, he has the bearded man smell, loads of merchandise. He also has Patreon. So don't be afraid to help Will out as well and help grow his channel. But he does say, and he promises, you all need to buy a bunch of shirts so I can buy a coffin, wig, and trench coat. Then only you can make it happen. So I call on the Harris Army because I want to see this happen. So next time Will is streaming, get over there, the merchandise, Patreon, whatever, because I think it'll be an absolute epic entrance to a stream. But big up Will Stewart. Everyone else, before we do get Jack's opinion, don't be afraid to get your super chats in. Some of you might already be super chatted out. There's 152 of you watching. It all goes to helping the channel big time. It helps getting better equipment and producing better shows. And improving the Harris Army. So big yourselves up so far, whoever have done it. Also, make sure you smash a like on the stream and a subscribe on the channel if you're new. But Jack, what do you think? Do you think it's Spurs fans live off the fear of some of these players going off and doing something at some other club?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's that fear factor that they'll go on to do better things at a different club and kind of embarrass us. And it's a valid fear, but it's also that fear that we should really get out of our bloodstream, because we just have to consider ourselves that if that player doesn't do well for us, then they shouldn't be able to do well for any other club. And if they do, then they're cowards and they're not, they're not real players. And it's just we're a good enough club that if you do well for us, then you can stay with us. But if you can't, then whatever, we need to move you on. We need to take ourselves seriously. And I am one of those I'm one of those guys. I sometimes am way too sentimental towards certain players. I really do have that kind of love feeling towards a lot of players. And, you know, I got to look inside myself like a lot of people and just realize that in order for us to be successful, we got to be a bit more cutthroat about some of these players' forms and their attitudes, especially.
Yeah, 100%. And Lappers, I have seen that stat banded around my man.
Can I just add to that as well? What Jack was just saying.
Big up Lappers, by the way. Big up Lappers.
It's not just the fans, right? Who I think it's the fear of them going on to do better things. I think it's the man right at the top. It's Daniel Levy, because you see it in the way he tries to sell players. He's always trying to get the most out of them, and this is why he holds on to them for so long. Because Dele Alli is a prime example. Ericsson, look how long he held him on for, because he was like he wanted to get the maximum for what he was worth, and he ended up getting like half of what he wanted for him. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's even less than half. It was like 20% or 25% of what he wanted for him, and it's like the same for Dele Alli, right? It's like he because he's so young, he's still 24. He's got this thing in his head where he thinks, oh yeah, he's still going to be the Dele Alli we all know, but he's never going to be like that at this club again. Never. So you need to get rid of him, and all these players that Winks, just get rid of them, get them gone, fucking get them out of my club.
Yeah. 100%. And let's welcome another legend to the stream. It's been a while.
Yes.
I love listening to what you have to say.
Yes,
it's awesome. But Jack, you take over. I just have to run. It's not a diary I need. It's a number one. So I'll be back in 1 minute, man.
Absolutely, David. No problem. I'm going to take this super chat here from Asama. Look how Chelsea players are playing. Football is too fast for Ali mentality and other players like him. Ali's done because he's too slow for the game. I mean, I agree with you, Asama, especially like we try to play fast, scintillating football, especially even the way that Mourinho is trying to counterattack, which was a questionable system, but that still required very quick link-up play, very quick thinking type of football. And Ali's been off his form for a long time, and I couldn't agree with you more. What do you guys think? I'm going to go to Bob here. I mean, is Ali capable of playing kind of fast, scintillating football for the likes of a much better club?
Hey, who knows? If we brought in another Poch-esque manager who plays that one touch on the front foot at all times in the high press, then who knows? But for me, he doesn't. It's hard for me to say he doesn't deserve that other chance because he's not shown it. We've had so many different styles, you know. Down tools under Poch, we were still playing that high press game. We played the counter attack under, and he wasn't. We played the counter attack under Jose. He never showed. We played the high press under Jose. He didn't show. We played the stand back and take on a bit of pressure, and that didn't work. He didn't show. Now he came and played a game against Sheffield United. He was our worst player. He was Tottenham's worst player. We did player ratings the following day. I gave him a 5. No, I gave him a 4, I think. 4 or 5. He was our worst player. Nothing came off for him. He's not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm not saying he's not a good player for anybody else, but right now, he is not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. He needs to move on. And for me, he'd be the first one out the door because, unfortunately, he'll probably be the one who brings us the most money in the summer.
It's like saying right, Ali's position is probably number 10, right, or second striker behind the striker. Who would you rather have right now, Sabitzer or Dele Alli in that number 10?
Mate, Lucas Moura or Dele Alli? Who would you rather have?
Now,
Lucas Moura or Dele Alli?
Right now, Lucas Moura.
Well, I do think Osama actually does have the good point there by saying the football is too fast for Ali right now. I do believe that. I do think.
We're just saying that.
Oh, sorry. Whatever Bob said. Whatever Bob said. But big up Osama, you absolute legend.
Awesome.
Yeah, we thank you very much for the super chat, Asma. Please help out Asma. Please, guys, send in your super chats if you want us to stop and talk about your comments or opinions. We really appreciate it. Really helps David grow. Really helps the channel grow. A lot more content will be coming out with those super chats. So please help us out here. Thank you very much, Asma. Unless you guys have any more thoughts about Delhi, I think Asma's even recent super chat really summed it up. I don't know what you guys think, but I can move on from here.
Just quickly, I just want to say to Will, it's the other way around. It's me and Marcelo and you and Alex. I can't take Alex's side. He loves Winks and Moon Boots and Davies way too much. I can't be on Alex's side. Look, Alex would probably want to take on all three of us. He's just that sort of guy. He loves it. Sorry, go on.
Alex has already said he wants to take on me, and him have got we've got a match made in heaven. Destiny awaits us. I'm telling you. Watch this space, everyone. Me and Alex, watch this space.
Alex loves it. Alex loves it. But in fairness to the guy, he does make a lot of good points, to be fair to him.
No,
I love Alex. But sorry, we will keep moving with the show.
Well said. Yeah, big yourself up, Alex. We always love you, and we always love your thoughts and opinions. It keeps us energized. Considering, all right, the next question here. Considering if Delhi, Lucas, Tanguy, and
oh, is he frozen?
Oh, you're after freezing there, Jacko.
Oh, he's
Jacko will be back there in a sec. Jacko will be back there in a sec.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
But
guys, what do you think?
Here he is.
All right, okay.
Oh, wrong button.
Oh, it's trying.
Here we are. Jacko's back.
you guys hear me? Sorry about that.
Right.
Can you guys hear
Go
me?
on, Jack. I'm just putting you back up to the top of the screen. Then I bring the lads back in.
No, appreciate it.
Right, let's go. Let's keep it moving, boys.
Keep it moving already. So considering if Delhi, Lucas, Tanguy, and Lo Celso stay this summer, who is Tottenham's real best number 10? Delhi, Lucas, Tanguy, and Lo Celso. Who's the best number 10 for us?
Do you know what? As much slating as I give the guy on his fitness, naturally, I think Endon Burgers is the best number 10.
Yeah.
But what annoys me about the chat, right? If we could actually get him super fit, like the thing is, he's never going to like. Don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. He's never going to be one of these slim guys. He's a big build guy, right? He's always going to be packing muscle. But if we could get him super fit, we have a ready-made Moussa Dembele right there with what this guy can do. Best Moussa Dembele was able to pick up the ball on the edge of our box and just steamroll 2 or 3 challenges and get us up to the other half. That's what Moussa Dembele was good at. And that's what we need Ndombele to do. But if we're not going to go down that route and we want to move away from that, you have to play this guy as number 10. What he struggles at is the defensive side of the game. But it's like Messi and Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe. Why would you get them to do the defensive side of the game when it's not that forward? Exactly. Right now, I don't think the team is helping them because it's so poor and there's not enough legs around them to make up that, or enough people that actually want to do the workload to make up for Ndombele. So I don't think that's helping them. But I do think naturally the best number 10 would be Ndombele, because imagine if he could be picking up the ball on the edge of the box, just jump 1 or 2 challenges, put one in. He has a good shot on him. He's a good finish. He can beat players, and he's also very good at passing the ball. But his main problem with this guy is just the fitness. If he could concentrate on that, we've one hell of a player on our hands. With Lucas, the reason why it's worked so well with him, right? The guy doesn't really have end product. Let's be honest about it, right? But what's worked so well is that with Harry Kane not having the legs, when he presses, Lucas can press that other centre back so quickly that it doesn't allow them to pass out from the back. And with Lucas, he's better there because when you play him out on the wings, you can just show him down the wing and show him down a blind alley, and Lucas Moore will run straight into that. By playing him in the middle, he can go left and right, and that's why he's picking up so many free kicks. Dele Alli, look, I think he's had his time at Tottenham. Lo Celso, this guy is another frustrating one because I actually think he gets a lot more criticism
than he deserves, sometimes.
Than what he deserves. I do think he's a lot more influential in games than what people see of him. But the most frustrating thing is he's always liable to take that extra touch or that touch too much where the move is gone, or else he's taking a heavy touch and the opposition are taking the ball back. So for me, I do think Endon Burgers is our best number 10. But before we get the lads' thoughts, we do have a super chat here. We'll just get that in, and then we'll get Bob's thoughts. It's Terry Wright. Big up, Terry.
Big up, Terry Wright. Thank you for the super chat. Really helping. Appreciate you. Love the channel and show. Spurs community, second to none. No, big yourself up, Terry. Really, really thank you for those kind words. The Spurs 100%. Community, you're exactly right. It really has shown me a home. It's shown plenty of people a home. It shows everyone, you in the comments, a home. Really, this is one of this community is second to none. It's really a family. It's not a community.
Legend. Big yourself up, Terry. Really do appreciate it. Everyone else, feel free. If you're jealous of Terry's name being brought up, feel free to get in your super chat. But Bob, what's your thoughts on the question that Jack was saying there about our best number 10?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're talking about form, you're right. Lucas is currently our best number 10, purely and simply he's played the most games, and what he gives in comparison to Dele Alli, if you want to make a direct comparison, is he's got pressing abilities, but he's got pressing abilities with intent, with intensity. He'll press, he'll win a ball and carry on with it. Dele Alli can't do that. He hasn't got the legs. He'll try and press, and if he beats it, he'll lose it by doing so. Totally wrong. But moving forward, Ndombele has to play number 10. I've been saying that for a while. He's not a pivot. He can't play alongside Højbjerg. He actually, he can't. It's played along in the pivot quite a few times. He just doesn't have the legs. And for me, like David says, all his ability is about taking on players. He can thread a pass through a needle of the eye. He has got a shot on him as well. Who's that? He has got a shot on him as well.
He scored one against Finn outside the box.
Ideally made it. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Wolves as well. You know, he has got a shot on him. He just needs to solidify that number 10 position. But obviously, with injuries and being played out of position a number of times, he's never been able to do that. But moving forward, if we can get the right partner alongside Højbjerg in that midfield, in that pivot alongside Højbjerg, and Ndombele, hands down. He's got the muscle, he's got the power, he's got the ability. He loves passing out wide. He knows how to spread the ball as well. He can, like I say, play through the needle of the eye as well. And once he gets his stamina back, he has got a bit of pace about him as well. You know, so he's tailor made for that number 10 position. He just needs to get his physical attributes sorted out. But yeah, for me. But we need to find that. You know, Sabitzer, Højbjerg in the pivot with Ndombele in front of him, mate.
I agree with you, Bob. I mean, Tanguy, I think what's also brilliant about Tanguy is that if he stays in shape and if he improves his fitness at that number 10 position, if he has better fitness, he'll be even more effective when he wants to come back. He'll be kind of similar to Bruno, where he'll come back and make a tackle, come back and win the ball back when he needs to. But like Danny had said, like you guys had said, he's almost too world class to kind of waste in a position that he's not the most comfortable in. So I completely agree with you. Danny, who's our best number 10? Lo Celso, Tanguy, Dele, Lucas?
Before I answer it, I think Brian Daigle had a very good comment in the comments. I don't know if you can see it, Dave.
Where?
About the best number 10.
Give me a minute, man. These comments are all over the shop. I will get it up, but go on, keep. Oh, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, that's it.
Best number 10 is obvious. Sorry, Jack, you read out. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Brian Daigle here. Best number 10 is obvious. It's Jack Grealish. Oh, no, my bad. It's Bruno Fernandes. No. Not that one fell through as well. Oh, I know. It's Dybala. No, wait again. It's Coutinho. Nope, wrong again. Levy out.
Oh, God.
That was brilliantly said earlier. Just the idea that if Harry Kane goes to Man United, just the idea that Bruno that would have been incredible.
Eating me, man. It will eat at me.
Yeah, you're right.
Eating me.
But Danny, who's our who's our best number 10?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Ndombele, if I'm honest. Do you know what? Right, because he's got the best raw ability. He's the best technically gifted. Yeah. He's just got he can hit on both feet. He can pass on both feet. He's seen it outside of the foot, inside of the foot. He can shoot from range. He's just, I think he's probably your best person we've got in the number 10 position, right? But I am going to say this, right? What we saw of Ndombele at the beginning of the season, in the first sort of 10 games, when he was playing in that sort of free or in that midfield pivot, or just in front of Sissoko and Højbjerg, he was doing a lot of defensive work as well. Mm-hmm. And you could see, if you actually go back and analyze the games and watch the games, right, he was doing a lot of defensive. He was everywhere. And you're like, this guy is going to be the best midfielder in the world if he continues like this. But what the problem was that it just, like Dave said, he just, something happened. And I think it's also part to do with also this French mafia, La Mafia, and this Aurier and Sissoko bond that they have, because Sissoko and Aurier are two players who don't give a fuck.
That's what we're paying them to do.
Right.
You're paying them to think they're in fucking, the Godfather.
Yep, exactly. So we need to get them two out as well, right? But I think with him, if he was to get his fitness to because we've heard these reports about how Jose's teams in the last couple of years, whoever it was, but Man United, Chelsea, that the fitness has never been not been great at the end of his tenure, right? And apparently this is what they've been saying inside the club as well, that the Tottenham fitness has not been that good. And you can kind of see it in a way where they kind of they lose concentration at the end of in the second half, and they all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, that's a great comment.
Yeah, I didn't want to write that as a question. Everybody knows that.
That's great. But yeah, I think he can do a job if he gets his fitness up and he gets those fitness levels to what you expect of a Premier League footballer, right? But I still think that he will, no matter what, he will lose his sort of determination to kind of do that job, because I just don't think he wants to do it. Even though he probably can do it, I just don't think he wants to do it, and that's a big difference. Whereas Hojbjerg, he wants to do it, what he's doing, but he just needs help. He needs someone. He needs someone to help him do that. And Ndombele, he can do it, but he just won't. And that's where I think if he's going to be like that, then you've got to utilize him where he's best at, and that is at a number 10 position. Ali, he's got all the ability in the world, and I've said it again with Ali, right? He is probably one of the most talented players. I reckon he's. Do you know what? I'll probably go as far as saying he's more talented than Ndombele is, right? But the problem with Ali is if you look at what he's done, right, in terms of his stats when he was coming up, he was phenomenal, right? The best young midfielder in Europe, probably the best number 10 in Europe, one of the young number 10s, right? But the problem with him is he just lost that drive and that determination and hunger. He never had that desire to be the best like Harry Kane had. His desire was, let me get my big contract and then that's it. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'll get my clothing brands. I'll get my Fortnite deals and I'll play Fortnite and I'll get my my image up and shit like that, and Instagram followers up and all that. That's all he cares about. He don't care about Harry Kane. He wants to win trophies, right? He's what you call the model professional, and Ali is not that. If Ali trained the way Kane did, right, he would still be one of the best players at the club right now. And I think everyone would be saying Ali needs to be that number 10 because he's got the ability. We all know it. We fucking seen it.
Yeah, but Danny, it's all well and good having the ability, but it's wanting to perform and wanting to do.
This is what I'm saying.
Wants you to do. It's
the mentality.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, Dave. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that anymore. He had it growing as a kid because he had something to prove. He wanted to prove to himself he could be in the team, and he wanted to. He wanted to show the world this is Dele Alli, this is what I can do. He played football for fun. But now, because he got everything he wanted, like the money, the contract, he don't care, man. He don't care about football anymore. So that's why I say get him gone. But right now it's Ndombele. Lo Celso, he's just been again unfortunate with injuries. He's been unfortunate of all the injuries and stuff. Again, do you know, I'm not even sure of Lo Celso, to be honest, because you kind of think his best position is probably in a deep lying midfield role, but can he do the defensive work? I mean, since he's come back from injury, he just doesn't look like he's the same player. He hasn't looked like the same player like we saw in the second half of last season when he was probably our best player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's got the ability. And I think he's got the determination, but if he hasn't got the concentration and the fitness, it ain't going to go hand in hand. And is he going to get to that level again, or are we going to see him get injured and be out again for another 3 or 4 months?
Right.
So it remains to be seen with him.
Right.
I'd say
I actually agree somewhere along the lines with Cody's comment here.
Cody's comment here. Some players are motivated by money. Once they get it, they stop growing. Then they regress. Then they fail. Dele is at the failure stage. Get what you can now.
Exactly.
That connects with what you said, Danny. I mean, he had something to prove. He had this natural motivation to show everybody who Dele Alli is. And now he's struggling to find that next goal, that next motivation. And that's what Harry Kane's been able to do, clearly. He's been able to find a next goal, a next motivation, another goal in mind. But Dele seems to be complacent.
They don't care.
There's also this argument. There's always this argument as well, isn't there, Dan, that there's a lot that's happened in his personal life with regards to his girlfriend leaving him, his house being broken in, and etc. And that's all fine, because I mean it's not fine, but it can affect you mentally. But then you need that mentality to become a professional Premier League player and come through that.
How many
players like that don't win anything? Players like that don't win anything.
let's not forget, guys. I mean, Serge Aurier, he played the day his brother passed away. You know what I mean? So it's a different way of dealing with things. And if Dele Alli can't cope with out of club, out of team inconveniences and disasters, then you haven't got the mentality to become a top Premier League footballer, in my opinion.
You don't have the mentality to go on and win things.
Yeah.
And look, I don't care. People can sit there and say it's harsh, but that's the truth. At the end of the day, the winners are the ones that, no matter what's going on in their personal life, they don't care. They wipe it out and they go out on the pitch and they do what they need to do. And look, my opinion is look, I get what's going on in their personal life, but that'll only tug on my heartstrings so much. These guys are paid about $100,000 a week to have everything off field in place. Perfectly so that they can do it on field. They don't escape criticism because when they sign that contract and take that money, they're in the public eye. So they take that money and they're paid well in order to be in the public eye. And so that when you're in the public eye, you take the criticism. So I'm just sick of all this sentiment and excuses we make for these players. It's about time we started just being harsh and being real with them, because unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but when you see the mentality of some of our players, and I don't get me wrong, but even Son Craig, we're not going to win anything by doing that. I'm sorry, but we're not. You know what I mean? Instead of doing that, you know, use your bad performance and come back stronger next season, more motivated next season with a desire to win, and keep doing and don't stop until we get over the line. Instead, like even here, Eric Dyer, right? This is another one that really got to me. He's sitting there and he's like, you know, in another interview again, what is Moon Boots being brought into the interviews for when he's done nothing? Right, but then he's sitting there and he's going, "Oh well, you know, I did have a good start. Then my form dipped just a little, but now I'm back again." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "You absolute moron! You just do not get it. Right? You just don't get it. Your form dipped when we were top of the league. This is the thing. Your form dipped when we were top of the league, and it's only picked up recently because there's no pressure on the games, and everyone's talking about Enoch, the Super League, and our own. So there's no pressure on him to perform. But when these performances were getting scrutinised because we were top of the league, all of a sudden these form dipped. And the guy just doesn't get it. You know, in fairness, right, just hire me as his PR manager, because I just say, look, Eric,
shut up.
Mr. Movements, you're not doing any interviews until you perform. Just stay away from it. Because the PR guys are not doing him any favours.
Exactly.
He's making himself
his ass is being scattered when he can't even pass a ball. You know, he's come out with that stupid comment yesterday, and the guy is just too stupid to understand it.
Right.
So he's
he thought we were being harsh.
Away from these interviews.
David, I want you to be his PR manager, harsh. Believe me.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, he thought we were being harsh, mate. Do you know what? He keeps digging himself into that coffin.
$80,000 a week is harsh, isn't it? Yeah.
You're gonna see him come out of Will's coffin instead. By the way, it's going. I'm telling you, man. You're gonna see him come out of Will's coffin. But honestly, he's another one that needs to just. He's a rotten egg, mate. Honestly, he stinks, and he needs to get out of this club. His stench is not going away.
It's not. I mean,
Winks and his safe space. I love this comment. David Harris, you sound like Jose. Harris out. Winks needs his safe space and ball tickler. No, first of all, Harris in, because Winks wouldn't be getting any safe space until he plays and earns his safe space. So Harris in. That's what we need. But big up DP. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But look, let's keep the show moving. I know Jack has a few more questions there.
Yeah, we just got a couple more guys, but we'll summarize that quickly. We seem to think that Tanguy might be the best number 10. He has the most potential there, probably the most world class there. And Dele he's just past it. He's just not capable of really standing toe to toe with the rest of them.
I'm just going to go to the washroom. The washroom.
Right.
Well, I got Danny and David here for the next question. Have Spurs shown this season that quality defenders can be more important or vital in reaching top 4 than quality attackers? Would Spurs have had a better season with quality defenders than actually quality attackers?
Look, on this one, with Harry Kane and Son, right, you're always going to get goals.
Right.
You're always going to get goals with these two. The way Harry Kane can hold up the ball, spray a pass, and he's clinical. Son, with his movement off the ball, on his day, he can beat anybody, and he can also shoot from outside the box, just like Harry Kane. So you're always going to get goals with these players. But ultimately, no winning team wins anything with a bad defence, unfortunately. And it's the truth of the matter. Having a good goalkeeper in it, like you see Liverpool, they had all the good defence in the world. Gary said before, you're not winning a thing. It is one of the most important things you need, because you can go and score all the goals you want. It's keeping them out the other end. And we've seen that this season with us. We've scored a lot of goals. We have actually scored a good amount of goals this season. It's just trying to keep them out. And the basis of your team and the basis and the foundations of winning anything is having a solid back five, which is your goalkeeper and your four defenders. Without that, you're not going to go on and to win anything. But not only do they have to be good defensive, they also have to be good and composed on the ball. So
it's the modern day now, isn't
for me, I do think having a good defense is probably more important than having a good
100%.
good attackers, in my opinion. What do you think, Danny?
Like the great Sir Alex Ferguson said, attack wins you games, defense wins you titles, and I always stand by that. And that is the biggest and best. What a quote, man! That's one of my favorite football quotes of all time, because it is so true. And do you know why it's so true? Because it's spitting at you in the face, right? Look at what happened when Liverpool went and bought Van Dijk, right? He elevated. They got Van Dijk and Alisson, but they elevated them to win a Premier League and a Champions League. Look at Man City this season. They went and bought Ruben Diaz, right?
Yes,
who's arguably one of the best centre backs around at the moment. He has elevated the defence, right? They finally.
But not only that, Danny. How much did he spend on fullbacks? John Stones
he spent like
Laporte as well. He knows. Pep Guardiola even knows.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. Of course he knows. And that's the thing, right? They're now going to win a Premier League. They've pretty much won the Premier League, right? And they now potentially could win the Champions League as well in one season. And if they do that, it's just unbelievable. And it tells you how good one player, one amazing top-class defender can do for your team. So for me, I think, like you said, I think Tottenham have always had good attackers. It's always been defensive let us down, always, over the years. It was only when, like, Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld, Kyle Walker and Danny Rose were at their peak, when we actually had one of the best defense in the league, and Hugo Lloris as well, because they were just all top-class players in their positions. And we had it for about 2 seasons. And then as soon as Walker left, that was the start of the downfall, because we never replaced him.
Exactly right. Bob, we're going here. Bob, let's get a quick super chat in here from Wayne Winter. Wayne Winter, really, thank you. Really, pat yourself on the back. Really, give everybody in the comment, please up Wayne Winter. He's really been very generous tonight. He's really helped us out a lot. Really, thank you, Wayne Winter. Big yourself up. True legend. No give Winks Dyer 10-year contract, or don't give Winks and Dyer 10-year contracts to polish the cockerel and lock the skywalk clean, because that's all we're good for. We need God for manager. I mean, Jesus Christ, if he makes another reincarnation, I'd be happy to take him. Any other prophet of any other religion as well, I'd be happy to take them, because really we need a miracle. Thank you, Wayne. Really big yourself up, Wayne.
Big up Wayne Winter, and everyone else, follow his league, get your super chats in.
He's the winter soldier.
Like I was saying, it's all going to go towards getting a laptop, a camera, all that sort of things in place, so that we can bring you some amazing content next season. So big yourself up, Wayne. Appreciate it. But go on there, Bob.
Could God do it, Bob? Could God do a job, Bob?
I certainly did a job. My pupil was so ill. My pupil was so ill-timed. I actually missed the question, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all right. So the question really is here. The question is: have Spurs shown this season that quality defenders can be more important or vital in reaching top 4 than quality attackers?
Just quickly, lads. Sorry, Bob. Simeon is in the stream from here. Tottenham. They go.
Simeon.
Legend.
Yes, Sim.
Celebrity.
Sim. Yeah. With regards to, I think it's a bit of both. I mean, fortunately, Spurs have always had good attackers, have always had good strikers. So we've never our letdown. I mean, our most successful seasons of late have been when Toby and Jan at the top. So striking wise, we've never ever suffered. But any good team needs good defender. When you talk about the great teams in the Premier League who have won the Premier League, even Leicester, you know, we talk about Morgan and Huth that season. You know, they were the mainstay. They were solid. And then obviously just having good defenders isn't the end of it. We need a system. These defenders conceded over 50 goals under Lampard. Under Tuchel, they're hardly being beat. So, of course, a back four is very important to have a. Are they just as important as strikers? For me, yeah, because that's the base. If you don't have, no matter what the strikers do, if you have a shit defense, it doesn't matter. That's the base. You get your defense in check, the rest of it will follow. You can get away with a not a world class striker, but if he's getting you 1 or 2 goals and the defense are keeping clean sheets, that's a 3-pointer. If the attackers are scoring a hat trick every week and the defense are letting in 4, it's relevant. So yeah, defense is a must. It's the most important thing, and certainly getting the right system as well.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. Yet again, another super chat from Wayne Winter. Wayne Winter, you've really been an absolute legend.
Winter soldier, man.
He's on fire. Wayne's on fire.
He's the winter soldier. He's the
most generous man.
I'm gonna have a
You're the most
chocolate.
generous man for the next 24 hours, Wayne. You really are. You're really the most generous man around. Really, thank you so much for supporting David here, and really thank you so much for giving your thoughts. I've gotten a hoot out of all of them, so please, please, please. Thank you so much. But save a little bit of money for yourself to fix this custard, because Wayne Winter just said, just burn my custard. Bad week, lads. I mean, you got to get a new torch then. I don't know how you're making your custard, but you got to get a good torch for it, and you got to get an even burn and even cooking. So please save up some money from the super chats, Wayne, so you can get yourself a new torch. That's what it sounds like.
Wayne sounds like he's making himself a trifle. That's what it sounds like. Big up Wayne, legend.
Oh,
But,
I'm worried. The amount of money he's giving us is probably can't afford a torch. But yeah, good on you. Good on you, Wayne.
Save some money for the new torch for your custards. That's beautiful that you're making them, though, Wayne. We love it.
100%. 100%.
All right, let's keep the show running. So it's going to be, I think we might have covered this. It kind of overlaps a little bit, so we can go with it as long as you want. And if the chat wants to give me some answers as well, please feel free to do so. So here's the question. What's Tanguy's true position / role? Is he really a number 8? Is he really a number 10? What does he need to improve in order for him to be consistently one of the first players on the team sheet? So first question is Tanguy really a number 8? Is he really number 10? And then the second question is, what does Tanguy need to improve on for him to be an undroppable?
Yeah, I'll take this one first, Jack.
Right.
For me, Tanguy can actually be both. He can be whatever Tanguy wants to be. The only thing for me, the guy needs to improve on is his fitness. Look, I'm a big guy. I used to be a very slender guy. I used to be at the, at the top, one of the top players in the county over here. And as I know from experience, the fitter you are, the better you are, the easier it is to do things. When you're unfit, your brain is working quicker than your body. Sometimes it can be frustrating, and I think that's probably the case with Ndombele. So for me, I think, look, he can play a 6, he can play an 8, he can play a 10. The most important thing that he just needs to do is get this guy fitter. Because I've been harsh on him. I know I've called him Endom burgers and Endom fat ass and whatever, you know what I mean? That's out of frustrating because I just expect more from these players. But it's not so long ago this guy was playing 6th tier in French football. So it's been a nice steady rise for this guy. And the Premier League is a complete different animal from the French League. Now, granted, there are going to be people out there saying he's had more than enough time to get fit. I agree with that. But for me, if we can end this season, Spurs can get him in early in the summer, or just, get him going this summer, get him super fit. I think we have a real player on our hands. And for me, look, I think, to answer your question quickly, he can play whatever position he wants. He just needs to get fitter and up to Premier League fitness. And we have probably one of the best midfielders in the league.
Absolutely agree with you, David. And I think that's well said because, you can sometimes see maybe yourself in him and that. And, when we're not, all of us, when we're not in the best shape, but if you think as quickly, like David said, as Tanguy, it can be quite frustrating if your body is not up to your intelligence. And that might be the case for his game right now. And so well said, David. And hopefully he can change his name from Imdom Burger to Imdom Bison Burger because, that'd just be a much stronger meat. And he would be able to plow through the midfield if you were more of a bison. So I'll go to you. I'll go to you, Bob, this time. Is Tanguy? What is he? Is he number 8? Is he number 10? What's making him... what's making him fall behind and kind of not being picked so often?
It's fitness. We all can see it. Ndombele, Never mind. You can see a lot of David in him. Sometimes his physique, it looks like David's actually in him. So he just needs to sort his physique out, sort his stamina out, and he will be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And his ideal position, like we said earlier, has to be that number 10. He's got all the attributes to play as a number 10. He just needs to get that stamina and fitness sorted. Last 90 minutes, last 120 minutes, if and when required, because he's got average. And playing at the number 10, he doesn't have to do all that tracking back, so he will save a bit of stamina. So, number 10, fitness, mindset, and his physique.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Danny, what are you feeling? Number 8, number 10? Can he develop him in Dumberger?
Yeah, of course he can. It's if he wants to. Again, it's all down to that mindset, right? And
exactly.
all down to I do think I do think, right, that it's kind of going back to my point before. With Ndombele, right, I honestly believe if he wanted to, so first of all, it's his fitness, right? Because he came back this summer and he was a bit slimmer, right? He was a bit slimmer. He looked like he'd worked on his fitness a bit, but I still think he needs more. And I think now coming into another season, he's got to push on again. And if he pushes on again, he gets even fitter with a new manager who plays a high intensity, high pressing, and they're going to need to train a lot harder than they have been with Jose, right? Because their fitness level is going to go up anyway, if that's the case. So then you're going to expect him to kind of go up with it. If he does that, then for me, I actually genuinely believe he could be a better player in number 8 if as well he did the defensive work. But my thing is with him is I don't think he will do the defensive work. I don't think he wants to do the defensive work. If he did, right, and he played for a manager where he was like, yes, I'm going to do the defensive work, I'm going to do everything, right? He would be my man. He would be my go-to for that pivot with Hotspur, right? And he's going to be doing it for 90 minutes like Hotspur does. He would be the best person for it because he can also take on and turn easily. He can hold the ball well. He's strong. He can pass the ball forward. So he'll be like a deep line playmaker who can drive forward but can defend as well. And if he can do that, then for 100 million%, I want him in that number 8. But I just don't believe we're ever going to see that in Ndombele because I don't think he wants it. Yeah. And I think if you're going to utilize him how he is, even if he does get fitter, then you put him in a number 10. And that's how I see it.
To sum it up, basically, what all three of us are saying is stamp your mark on the game like you do on a club sandwich. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliantly said. Brilliantly said. So, Tanguy, if you're listening, please just get in shape because we all see the world-class nature in you. So please just get back in 100%. Shape. Cut off the burgers. Cut off the burgers. Start eating some more chicken instead.
He can be better. I don't know if you guys agree with me. But he can be better than Paul Pogba, in my eyes.
Yep.
Put some mind to it. He can be better than Paul Pogba. I look at Paul Pogba, everyone thinks Paul Pogba.
Brilliant. I think with Ndombele, I do think, look, he's probably got to Tottenham, got to the Premier League and a bit, maybe he's took his eye off the ball and maybe felt like he made it a bit. I do think with Ndombele, this guy needs a permanent focus. I think if he can just remember, where he was not so long ago and get his a renewed motivation, get himself back in shape, this guy could dominate next season.
Yeah, I think so.
Easy. He needs a right manager as well to tell him that. He needs a manager to tell him, listen, Tanguy, you can be hands down one of the best defenders in the world. Definitely one of the best in the Premier League. Yeah. You can be a world-class midfielder, one of the best players. And he's already said he looks up to Paul Pogba. You can be better than your hero. You can be better than your hero.
I think so
we need the right. Yeah, absolutely.
Easily.
I think so too. I think. I also think on Ndombele, I think he would prefer a manager who will put his arm around him as well. I think he will get better because I think Jose Mourinho gave him the hard love, and I think he kind of like he said at the beginning of the season or the end of last season, it was like we put our differences aside for the team, right? And you saw what he did; he changed completely from last season, right? But yeah, I just think that he needs someone like that as well. He needs a manager who's going to put his arm around him.
Just quickly, Luke Callaway was Luke Calloway was loving the comment on We Are Tottenham TV about the that I made about the
Legend.
Super League.
Yeah,
Big yourself up. Basically, I was saying instead of watching ads on Bud Light, I'd rather be sitting there smoking Bud. You know what I mean? But big yourself up, man. He remembers a good comment when he sees one. And here you go, Jacko. One for you, man.
Yeah, another one. Wayne Winter, please give yourself a pat on the back. I hope you have a wonderful sleep tonight. I hope you're not too distraught about the custard because it sounds delicious. I love a good apple crumble. I mean, really, it's don't beat yourself up that you can't make a trifle. The fact that you're already making apple crumbles is incredible as it is. So please big yourself up for your generosity and big yourself up for your baking skills.
Wayne, if I leave the word apple crumble up any longer, I'm going to start drooling.
I don't think we believe him, really, do we? I think maybe a sample needs to be sent in to each household.
I agree. I agree. A sample needs to be sent over this way. Wayne.
Yeah, definitely, yourself up. Definitely.
And quickly, Stelios, he says he's got his smoke bombs ready for the protest. Got white and blue smoke. Big up.
Sent me the links from tonight. I'm going to get some as well.
Yeah. 100%. But Jack, what questions have you got left for us, my man?
I think we're on one last one. It's the very last one, and we can take it as we will. It's you can take it as maybe a manager's philosophy or a manager's style of play, or just your idea of what you believe is the right style of play for these players. And so the question is, what style of play or philosophy suits the players that we have at our disposal right now best? Is it a high pressing? Is it possession? Is it defensive? Is it low block? What is it? Is it a type of manager?
I'll take this one. But before I do, because it's the last question, if you have loved the show, if you do want questions answered, get in your super chats. And if not, even if you don't have to, just send in whatever you have to show your appreciation for the show, because it is your last chance. It is the last round of answers. And just quickly, actually, before I do answer, Bob, how many subscribers have you got?
I don't know now, mate. I think about 240 something. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're not ending this stream until Bob gets 280. The power of the Harris Army has the power to make this happen. We proved it with Paxton Road TV. Now it's Bob Spur's time. So the Harris Army, get over there. The link for Bob Spur's channel is in the description. So you don't even have to go and type it in. Just go underneath the video where all the stuff is, click on Bob Spur and smash and subscribe on the channel. You, the Harris Army, can make that happen. And like I said, it's not ending until you do. So get over there and do it. In terms of style of play, look, with this team, I don't know, because we don't have the players to play a pressing game. We don't have the players to play a passing game. But being honest, the very first fan cam I done on We Are Tottenham TV, it's the very first thing I said. We just don't have the players to play this passing game when they can't do the basics and are afraid to handle the ball under pressure. So for me, what it's looking like right now is what we've seen more or less all season: long ball up to Kane and try and make something work. Because that's all we have. Yep. If you can get a long ball up to Kane, just get Bale or Lucas and then Son down the other side, just run straight off him in behind. Because against City as well, that game, right, I know he brought in wings, but it was clear as day. We just don't have the players to play the passing game and get on the ball, right? So what you need to do then is, when we were passing the ball around the back like we were a lot of the times. Now, I said this on the We Are Tottenham TV stream as well. You get Kane to drop deep as a decoy and just get Son and Lucas, as soon as one of them defenders, as soon as Toby gets the ball, that's the trigger, send them straight in behind. Don't look back, go straight in behind. Because what we ended up doing was playing a long ball out towards the byline, and it was, if we can get control of it, great, but if not, at least it's over the byline so we can slow it down and all they get is a throw in. So it was crying out for that long ball in behind. And I just fear with the squad we have right now, I think that's our best option, to be honest with you, is getting the ball up to Kane, or if not, use Kane as the decoy and get your wingers gone straight in behind and over the top.
Do you know what,
a bit
David,
like Liverpool sort of last season. So that's what I think.
I'd kind of agree with it to an extent, right? But the problem is, we ain't got the players to play the long balls anymore. How many times have we seen Dyer misplace He can't. He's not so inaccurate.
That's why I said Toby as the trigger for them to run, lad, not numbers.
Even Toby though, even Toby this season hasn't been the same Toby he used to be when he was just so amazing at those long balls. He's still got a bit of it, but he doesn't do it consistently, and that's been the big problem for us, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I mean, our best we saw earlier on. Our best form of attacking was a counter attack. That goal, rather than the goal, the thing that's most prominent for me from the earlier on in the season was Lo Celso playing it to Kane, and Kane turning his defender and playing in Sonny to go on and score a goal. That's so prominent. Just that move. Obviously, we ain't got the defenders to play like that. Playing on a counter attack means taking on a bit of pressure and then putting. But our pressure normally leads to a goal. So it is, unfortunately, it is good old fashioned playing it long by hook or crook. Dembele's got a pass on him. Toby's got a pass on him. And Dembele's got a pass on him. So you have got the chances. But yeah, long to Kane and get the players running off him with the likes of Bale and Sonny. So Brian, like Brian says. So we've not had an identity all season. We haven't a way of playing all season. So whatever.
Do you know what scares me? Do you know what scares me on the identity, Bob? So I've been thinking about this. Even coming into the start of that season where Pochettino got sacked, we lost our identity. Yeah. It's not that the managers aren't trying to impose an identity on these players.
Exactly.
Players just don't want to do it.
Yep.
It's been lacking for good 2.5 years now, this identity. It's killing us.
At least, yeah.
And big up Cenk as well. Anyone else anything to add to that?
Danny, is there a certain style of player philosophy that, just suits the players that we have best, or is it really just the manager that can only change them?
Honestly, it's both, man. It's the managers and the players. Jose don't have a style. His style was very pragmatic. He would rather sit back and defend.
His style is win.
Yeah, exactly. His style was win and just not concede. But we obviously did a shit job at that because his coaching methods are diabolical.
Right.
So it suits Dyer right down to the bone. And I just think the players as well, like Dave said, they've just stopped. Like majority of those players who are the core of our current team right now have just stopped playing like the way that they should be playing. Even for Mourinho and even for Poch, unless they go, I don't care what manager comes in. I just can't see another manager getting a tone out of these current players that we've got. If you honestly believe that Gasperini or whoever, fucking Bob Marley comes back from the dead, gives them all a joint, and they all start, do you know what I mean? Like honestly, no one is gonna do. Yeah, they're gonna be jamming. Exactly it, mate. That's exactly what they were doing on the pitch. They're gonna be sitting there. Dele Alli will absolutely love it. He'll feel right at home. And honestly, these players don't care. And no one, Scott Parker is not gonna make Harry Winks. He's not gonna make Dyer. He's not gonna make Sanchez. He's not going to make Davis. He's not going to make Aurier. All of them, Sissoko. He's not going to make them better. They're not going to be better, and they're going to do the same thing. They'll get a manager bounce for a little bit, and then when they get bored of it, they're just going to do the same thing again. So for me, I don't care. There's no style at the moment. I couldn't give a shit what the style is going to be with these players because these players don't want to do any style. They don't care. So unless they're gone, then it's never going to change. But I honestly can't see what style these players can play at the moment.
Yeah.
100%. Jackie, any more questions for us, or is that it, my man?
That was the last one, fellas. I really appreciate you guys giving your best minds and your best answers to it. Really, again, the intelligence of these answers has really helped me out. It's made me look a lot better than really these questions are. So I really appreciate it.
Jack, it's the questions that bring out the intelligence of the answers, my man. It's the questions. So keep it up. And I just want to say to everybody, this is going to be once a week show. You know what I mean? It did the same panel every week. It's an absolute fantastic show. Everyone, why we will go around and let everyone plug themselves. Let us again know what you think of this show. I think it's been a great show and great questions asked again and great input from Bob and Danny and dare I say myself as well. So, Jack, we'll start with you. If anyone wants to find you, let them know where they can find you, my man.
Yeah, definitely. You can find me over at Tottenham Away with the two Bryans and Stell and Shy. They'll be having a show tomorrow or on Friday. So a day and a half from now will be the Friday night with two Bryans. I'll be there right after David's fan call-in show. will be on, and we'll be having a good time, kind of relaxing, talking about Spurs. We'll be talking about Gareth Bale and about whether we should be signing him next season. And we'll be kind of looking deep into the stats and looking into the weeds about whether he really has been good enough for us to sign him next season. And please, so find me over at Tottenham Way. Please follow me on Twitter at Jack Kanicki. I tweet about a bunch of various things, anything from Spurs to American politics. So please check me out there. And really, thank you for all the support and the super chats and the comments. Really, it's been sensational. Like, really, everybody in the chat: Wayne Winter, Will Stewart, Tin Man 007. I know I'm missing so many. I'm missing so many, and it's just really everybody. Big yourselves up, really big yourselves up, and clap yourselves, because you really have made this a sensational episode. Because the support has really helped David. I know it really helps David because he has so many big things lined up, and he's been so generous to help me in running this show. And so, really, thank you so much, the chat, for the support that you have shown me.
No, Jack, you fully earned it. But look, you know, everyone thinks you ask the great questions. Jack, you are the glue of this show. Without the questions, this wouldn't be happening the way it is. So big yourself up, and everyone get over there and give the guy a follow on Twitter. His handle is in the description below, along with all the boys' social media and stuff like that. So you don't even have to go looking for it. Just go into the description below. As well, just a couple of other names there. Brian C. as well, William McKenzie. Like you said, Will Stewart, Tim Man 007, Awesome All was there as well. There was loads of people, so big yourselves up for the super chats, guys. But Danny, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you, my man? And Bob, quickly check your subscriber count.
I can't, mate. My laptop's over there. Right, I don't know if Danny can or but I'll check it in a bit. I'll check. I'm sure you've done the job, mate. I'm sure you've done the job.
Right. Well, why Danny checks it, Bob, you let them know why they should go over and subscribe.
Yeah. Bobspur TV, pop over. Anything to do with Spurs. I've regular shows like the day after, the day before, and bringing out content whenever something important comes out. But right now, the most important thing is protest. Get these fuckers out. Do it with your heart. Do it loud. Make it proud. And like I say, we need to do it. We can't take the eye off the ball. We need to get these cretins either out or certainly a change of mind. And Bob Marley was brought up earlier by Danny, and if he was a Spurs man, he'd be saying, "No Levy, no cry."
Absolutely. Look, Bob is on 243. Let's get him to 250. Let's get him to 250. I'll take 250, 255.
Come on, guys.
Get over there and give Bobspur a subscription. Like I said, the link is in below. I'm not ending the stream until he gets at least 250.
I just want to get over there
and make it happen, guys. But Danny, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, please subscribe to Bob, because he just comes on to everybody else's shows. He's one of the most intelligent guys that you can find. He really sacrifices for everyone else. So please, if you love David and you love this channel, please help out Bob, because Bob he's dear to all of us because he helps everybody else out. So please go over and smash your head on that subscribe button and smash your lips on that notification bell, please.
Oh, smash your lips.
Bust a lip on the notification.
You made a great point, because if people do like Dave's channel, they'll like Bob, because he's a very witty, very funny guy, and the characters and the shows that he has is just honestly, they're brilliant. So people, please just go and subscribe to his channel. That's Bobspur TV. Go and do it right now. Come, we need to get to 250 tonight, man. Come on. We just need 7 more, guys. 7 more.
See, it's easy to do. But Bob, why don't you? Come
on, 5
Danny,
more.
Why don't you plug yourself, man? 5 more. Come on, there's surely 5 of you. You know, surely 5 of you that can get over there. There's 107 still tuning in. So, you know, surely there's 5 of you that can get over there and drop a subscription on it. But Danny, why don't you tell everyone what you've got planned, man? And I've got your new Twitter. I've got your new Twitter page in the description below.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, Dave, man. So we've got the channel. We've got a new YouTube channel coming out. You can find me on Twitter. So the Twitter handle is inthebox_TV. The channel name is going to be called In the Box. which
Yeah,
has been
man.
decided, and that's been
Great channel.
confirmed. So appreciate that. So we've got the logo coming as well. It's still in the works, guys. So it's still a little bit more time before the channel actually goes live. But just if you follow me on the actual Twitter account, on the official Twitter account page, then you'll see some more news coming out in the next few months on that. And we're going to try and get it running before the start of the season. It's basically going to be like a debate show. So we're going to do a lot of basically Premier League coverage. We're going to do a lot of different kind of shows, talk shows, a lot of stupid people basically going to be on. If you like watching delusional fans, bit like myself, bit like Dave, bit like Alex, and especially some delusional Arsenal fans.
I pride myself on being delusional.
Exactly, mate. We all do. So if you like more of the same of that, we are going to be doing a lot of Premier League coverage, so different teams as well. Then come and join the fun. And we've got some special guests lined up as well. Some professional footballers, ex-professional footballers, and things like that. So hopefully it's going to take off. So we'll see. But come and join the fun.
Bob's at 251.
100%.
Yes.
Follow the bun.
Go,
Sorry.
At 251.
Come on.
good,
He's
lads.
done it.
That's
Let's
it.
go.
Follow the Harris Army. That's
Come
what
on.
I'm talking about. Fair play to you. By the way, James Watson, he was a super chatter as well. Big yourself up,
252.
James. I really do appreciate it. Look, do we stay for another 5 minutes and go for 260?
Yeah.
Do we get 9 more?
Yes.
Come on. We'll get 9 more. Come on. It's been a good evening. Like Danny, like the bun was saying, Bobby goes on everybody's channel. You know what I mean? Probably spends more time on everyone else's channel than he does his own. But when he is on his channel, he puts out absolutely fantastic content. So you're not, look, I'm the leader, the general of the Harris Army. I've never steered you wrong yet. Seven more. There has to be 7.
The soldiers wrong.
Has to be 7. If you want to see me my ugly mug off screen, because I do have, I know it's 20-1, but I have a bit of FIFA to be played. So get over there, give him 7 more subs. Come on, the Harris Army, we can do this.
Yeah. I just love it. I just love going on anyone. I don't even think of somebody else's channel, or it's like coming on your channel. It's like coming home on Simon's channel. Simon was is the first channel I went on, and it's just like chilling out with mates. I don't think of it, and I'm sure you guys are the same. It's just like sitting down chatting with mates.
Yeah, that's what it is like, man.
Talk a bit of sense while we're doing it. It's even better. It's even better.
Look, this is my version of counselling. You know what I mean? I can sit here and talk to you guys, get it all off my chest. Connor Q's has subscribed, so we should be down to 5. Danny, check the count.
He is on. He's on. Let's have a look. 6 more. 6 more.
6 more. Come on, guys. 6 more. There's still 96 here. I want to see this go down to 90 and then come back up to 96. That's how I know 6 more have gone over and subbed. Jack, another one here for you.
I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to say this, Will, so unless somebody corrects me, but Will Stewart with another one. Smash your lips, nay shirt and bound.
Yeah.
New shirt and bound.
New shirt.
New.
Oh, wow. Well, once we get
new
Will
shirt
Stewart's
inbound.
coffin,
Is it he's in a couch shirt? He's probably talking about maybe.
yeah, he's probably talking about a new design. Brilliant.
Nice,
So we got to help out Will Stewart. Please support him on Patreon.
No, that is what he's talking about. A new shirt with Smash Your Lips.
Oh,
yeah.
Smash your lips.
Yeah. Sorry, Will, I'm not the most
Smash your lips.
intelligent. It took me a while to decipher that, man. I don't have military training like you, lad. Danny, what's the sub count now, man?
The sub count is, I think it's still 254. Let's have a look. Hold on. 255. 5 more. Can I? 5 more, guys. 5 more. Come on. There's only 5 more. Come on. You can push this. Can I?
The Harris Army. Show them who has the power on YouTube. 5 years, get over there and subscribe to bobspur TV. The link is in the description below. It's easy for you. You don't even have to type it out in the bar. I've done it all for you. Just click the link and smash a sub on it.
Can I just
Jack, have you a question for anybody? While we get Bob 5 more? A quick question.
Can I add something?
Sure. I was just going to say.
It's just to also plug the 2 Brian show on Friday.
Yes.
So in honor of Bob Island, in honor of Bob, Brian Island is going to be singing Barbie Girl every 15 minutes on that show.
Good
so
lad.
if you want to catch that is on Friday. And Jack, what time is that at again? Sorry, you know what time that is?
I usually know, but I think it's usually starting at 7 o'clock, sometime around then. So 12 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock Eastern time in the US.
It's midnight.
That's
Yeah,
what's
Starts at
midnight.
midnight in the
Friday.
UK.
People need to go and watch that, because if you want to watch Brian Ireland singing Barbecue, that's going to be classy.
Yeah.
He's not going to be
classy.
comfortable doing it. I tell you, he's going to need a couple of ciders or something in order to feel confident. So
I asked that forfeit to happen in fishnets as well, so I don't know if he's going to go down the
Wig
fishnet.
as well.
tasty.
Can we add a
Yes.
wig to the equation?
Tasteful.
That'd be nice.
Brilliant.
But Danny,
258,
what's the sub count
258.
at now,
Come on,
man?
lads.
It is that. Let's have a look.
I see 258.
Come on.
258.
All right,
Yeah.
2-way.
Two more.
Two more,
Come
lads.
on.
Come on. There has to be
Come
two.
on.
I'm
Two
gonna
people
I'm gonna
there.
subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe. No, I can't do that.
Look, you know what? I don't even care if it's a pity sub. Just get over there and sub, please, so we can end the stream, because I'm not leaving until 260. I want to know the power that the Harris Army have. So until you can make 260 happen, I can't go anywhere, because I'll go to bed and won't be able to sleep knowing that the Army failed.
Man.
The power of the Harris
need to
Army
die.
failed. So we need two more subs.
Put all that to one side. I need a dyer, so you need to get to 260 quick time, otherwise.
Don't say that, lad, because they won't subscribe. There'll be someone sitting there waiting to subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave on 259 and watch it getting redder and redder and redder.
Danny's first guest on his YouTube channel should be me, though. Brilliant.
Doubles.
I'm stuck with you now.
What are we at now? Surely there's two more on it. Surely.
258, I think it is.
Well, look, I suppose.
Come on.
We'll get there overnight, mate. Don't worry. I'm sure we will. Make some fake accounts up. Brilliant.
Yeah. No, look,
Yeah.
we've
get there.
we've got you up a few subs anyway, Bobby. No, Bobby's still here. Don't worry about that.
No,
look, anyway,
no,
we
he's
will end
asking
it.
to go on the toilet. Yeah,
We will end it here.
Oh, one more. We need one more. One more.
One more.
I can't.
Come on, guys. One more.
It'll come.
There'll be one by the time I give the outro. So look,
Yeah.
big up everybody. All the super chatters. You really don't know how much you really do help this channel. How much it really helps me being able to push my ideas further and bring out better content next week. So thank you so much. It really doesn't go unnoticed, and it's really, really appreciated. So thank you to all the super chatters. A massive thank you to channel members as well. Your fan show is coming Friday, so make sure you get on and have your say. As well, Frenemies is tomorrow. Everyone that's tuned in, make sure you have smashed a like on the stream, a subscribe on the channel if you're new. Also, when this video ends, get your comments in below. It all helps with YouTube algorithm. So get your comments in below. Well, let us know whether you think it's a good show. Let us know if there's any questions you would like Jack to ask us. Put to us, even though he doesn't need any help. He's brilliant at what he does. So big up everybody. And have we got it? Have we got there, lads? Have we got it?
260.
Yeah, we've got it. Come on.
Lads,
That's the power of the Harris Army. That's what I'm talking about. Big yourselves up. Big up to the Harris Army.
Big up Harris Army. Big up Harris Army.
Absolute legends. And big up for everybody tuning in. A massive thank you to Jack for making this show happen. Without the questions, the show wouldn't be what it is. A massive thank you to Bobby and Danny for committing to do this weekly with myself, because it makes the show. The inputs are valuable. So big up everybody. Enoch out. Protest on the 15th. I beg you. Please get down there. It's the only bit of pride we can restore back in this club. We're laughing stock on the pitch, laughing stock off the pitch. They laughed at our last protest. Now let's turn out in numbers and show them what the Yids can do when we turn out in numbers and enforce together. Until next time, until tomorrow, 4 Frenemies with Marcelo at 9:30. Don't miss it. Until next time, come on, you Spurs, and Enoch out.
Come on, you Spurs.
Enoch out.
Enoch out.